What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am so excited you are here. We're gonna learn together. This is the Tarver Academy Summer Professional Development. We're gonna learn. Learning's happening. It's going down today. We're about to get started. My name is Tyler. I run Tarver Academy. It's an online resource for teachers and students and educators, and it's a great community where people just get involved and learn and get better. And I throw resources to you guys, throw ideas around. It's just a lot of fun. Just a whole lot of fun, Tarver Academy. So if you need anything, I'm here. TarverAcademy.com has a ton of resources and things that you can go to check out. A little bit about me, just so you know, you don't think I'm just like, hey, here's a random YouTuber talking about, videos or whatever. My name's Tyler. I started out teaching high school math, and then I moved into a tech director / facilitator role. Then I was a principal of a school, 6th through 12th grade. 6th through 12th grade. Fun ages. That's good stuff, okay? Good stuff. Never any drama, 6th through 12th grade. No drama. And our school had waivers from the state, so we did a lot of online, we did a lot of blended, we did a lot of in-person learning, all the above. So we get to learn a lot, make some mistakes, do some stuff right, and try to learn from everything we did. Then after that, I went to central office, and I was director of curriculum instruction, and now I'm the dean of NLC College. And I'm so excited to be here, learning and growing with you guys. I'm also giving a little bit of time for people to jump in, get started, and we're about to go through some of the housekeeping stuff. We're gonna do a little check-in right now at the beginning, and then at the end of this video, at the end of this training, we're going to have a chance for you to get a certificate showing that you actually showed up and you did the learning, okay? I think that this training and the other trainings that you are gonna get the chance to be a part of this summer are gonna help you grow as an educator. And if you grow as an educator, all it does is help the students and the community that you live in. And so let's try our best to learn something, take something away from this that we can put in our repertoire and get better with. Okay, so the first thing I need you guys to do is I need us to check in, okay? And this check-in, what it does is it timestamps when you are here so that you might not need this later, but if your administrator or whoever comes back and they're like, how do I know you didn't just click to the end? This shows that you were here at the beginning. So you can scan the QR code that is on the screen if you have your cell phone. And on my phone with me, get your phone out. I'll use my wallet, Atlanta Braves wallet. Film that, you just hold your phone over that QR code that you see on the screen. You'll see something pop up at the top. Click that and it'll take you to where you can fill out that you were here. It's very short, very quick. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to do that right now. Go ahead, scan the QR code, go to the website, check in, and when you do that, you will get an email. If you do not get an email immediately, this happened, I told you, I was a tech director for a long time, okay? I'd say a long time. I was a tech director long enough to know that if you don't get that email that you're filling out right now, it's because you typed your email address in wrong. That's exactly what happens. 19 times out of 19 and a half times, that's what happens. So go ahead and go to that. Remember, at the end of this session, there's gonna be another QR code that you're gonna scan that is going to give you the certification saying that you actually did the training. Both of these are time-stamped. So if your administrator or whoever's in charge of PD for your district wants to see that and be like, how do I know you did this? You've got your check-in email that is time-stamped by me, not by you. It's into a PDF or it's into that email. And then you will also have the timestamp on your certificate showing that you did this. Okay, so hopefully everybody is getting that done. Okay, giving you a little bit of time. If you have any trouble, just keep trying because I think it's pretty important to get that logged in. Now, while we're doing that, if you're finishing that up, or if you can hear me, what I would love for you to do is I would love for you to hit the red subscribe button. This is my YouTube channel, Tarver Academy. That's what I call it. It's kind of where I got this started. I had this before I had the website, and then I put up the website to put all the resources and all the stuff I was doing. But if you would hit the red subscribe button right now, that would be huge. That would be just super cool of you. And that way, you can hopefully see some of the other trainings that I'm doing, see some videos I do throughout the year to help teachers, to help students, to have fun and learn together. So hit that red subscribe button. Did you do it? Did you? You get the like too, the little thumbs up. That's just YouTube etiquette. You hit the thumbs up. It's just really nice to do. So you want to hit the thumbs up button, you can. And I would love to start this. How about this? in the chat, okay? Because if you're watching this on my website, which is where you can watch it, that's fine. You're not gonna see the chat, but if you click and watch this on YouTube, you're gonna see a chat rolling on the side of the screen. Start it off. I want you guys in the chat to say who you are, like give your name, tell us what you teach and where you teach, okay? If you're an administrator, you can say that I'm a principal, or you can say your central office, whatever you do. I've got some people that have signed up for this that are aspiring educators. So this is great to say, I wanna be an educator, I wanna be an English teacher for high school, throw that in there. If you wanna be a kindergarten teacher, toss that in there, say you're in school. It's a great way to network because I think there is an amazing community of educators here wanting to learn and grow together. And I think that it's great if we look out for each other. So throw in the chat, I want you to say your name, what you teach, and where you teach. Throw that in the chat. All right, man, we're doing good. We're doing good. It's our warm up. We're feeling good. We're stretching it out. It's always good to stretch before you stretch. I don't know, I heard some friends say that, so I say it from time to time. Okay, next thing. This is another little thing. I've got one right here. So I've written a couple books. I've done Superheroes Need Sleep Too. This is a children's book. It's like a nap time book, so you don't have to read that. But this one I think is super relevant for you. This is the Baller Teacher Playbook, and in it I have like practical advice. It's 18 chapters. So the idea is that you could do this like once a week with your team for a full semester or every other week for a year and try to improve your teaching every week. I'm not doing this to sell it to you. I'm doing this to say I'm giving some of these away all summer to people that are participating in this. So if you want a chance to win one of these, or I think I probably got some other educator books. If you're like, I don't really want your book, Tyler, I got a ton of educator books. I'll send them to you. All you got to do, follow me on Instagram at Tyler Tarver. Follow me at Tyler Tarver on Instagram, and I'm gonna be giving these out throughout the summer. You might be the person I give it to. So follow me on Instagram, and then throw something in your Instagram story if you want, just to increase your chances of me seeing it. So I'm just gonna be clicking through. I see people follow on Instagram. I'm gonna throw out stuff to them. So random people will get it. You might not, but you won't if you don't. So there we go. Y'all feeling good? Does everybody feel good? Everybody throw in the chat who they are, where they teach, what they teach. Okay, so to explain also what this is, you are watching, this is a live broadcast. So this is going as a YouTube premiere or a full-on live video. So one of the two. Either way, that chat is happening live. Everybody that jumps into this video at any point is gonna be watching it at the same time as you. So it's great to get in the chat and talk, discuss, ask questions, give input. If we ask a question in the video, you can type it in your notes, but you can also type it in the chat. You can copy paste from the chat. It's a great way for you to be a part of this live broadcast, okay? So if you have a Google Notes, if you have a notes document, if you wanna take notes by hand, I've got a template for notes if you want. It sent it to you whenever you filled out your email. It should have been on that page whenever you did your check-in at the beginning. If not, it's on like every PD page. I have my website, tarveracademy.com. Click on PD and you get a free notes template, or you can take notes in your own doc. However you want to do it, take notes, write down stuff that's relevant to you, and copy paste stuff that people put in the chat. There's gonna be people in the chat that are way smarter than me. And so I'd love for you to copy paste that into the notes, and you can take that and make your teaching game elevate. So next thing, while we're getting logged in, people are still jumping in here. They're still jumping in the video, giving you a few minutes to do that. We're also, if you want to watch these videos, because after this ends, it's going to be gone off of here. However, I'm going to be putting all of these trainings, all like 30 something trainings. I think it's over like 120 hours worth of trainings. I'm putting all of that for people that join what I call the Tarver Academy Honor Roll. It's a small group of educators who are trying to get better every week, and I send out weekly emails during the school year to where you're getting templates, you're getting resources, back to school starter kits, you're getting templates for Google Forms, trainings, PDs, tons of stuff every single week delivered to your inbox, and also you have access to all of these trainings. That is available if you go to tarveracademy.com/honor roll if you want to. I think it's a great decision. I think it's a great decision. Nobody's in here. Who am I talking to? I'm not talking to anybody. Okay, y'all feel good? Y'all ready to start? Y'all feel good? This is a little warm up. We'll explain what's going on. Everybody feel good? 1 to 10. Put in the chat how you feel today. Or give me this, how about this? Give me an emoji of how you're feeling today. That'd be better, 1 to 10, or give me an emoji. I'd love to see it. Or just give me a word. You're like, I don't want to do an emoji. Give me a word. How you feeling today? And let's get rolling. Remember, input in the chat, take notes, learn, grow. Welcome to the best professional development that you're gonna do. Not guaranteed, but it's an opinion, but it's also true, but it might be biased, but it's gonna be a great summer. It's gonna be a great training. Hope you guys learn something. Hope this adds you value that you can then bring to your students and make your school, your community, yourself better in some way. Guys, we're about to get started. Y'all excited? Y'all ready? We're about to do this. Let's get ready to learn and have fun. Tarver Academy. Let's go. Let's go. Hit it. Hit it. Let's go. What up, everybody? Hey, how's it going? Tyler here, and I'm ready to show you the greatest add-on in the history of Google add-ons that I've used. And I'm like, there's some pretty fancy ones. There's some really great ones. There's some super duper ones. This is the one that when I became an administrator saved me literal hours every single week. And I think that this can be applicable for teachers. It can be for paraprofessionals, definitely for principals, central office, anybody who feels like they're wasting some of their time with the same messages, the same things they're putting in, same input all the time. I think this can save a ton of time for you. And this is a full-on walkthrough. So ideally, as you're doing this, you have you've got me talking to you, and that's pulled up on like a phone or an iPad or a split screen, and then you are doing this at the same time. I'm literally going to walk you through setting up all of this stuff and having these Autocrat. It's called Autocrat. I don't know if I mentioned that. Sorry, surprise. It's Autocrat. You saw it in the title. It's Autocrat. How many times am I going to say it's Autocrat? That's 3. Let's go for 4. This Autocrat training is a full walkthrough. This is not a sit and watch. It's not like, oh, so eat some popcorn, like that GIF of Michael Jackson, where he's eating the popcorn in the Thriller, maybe. Anyways, so what I need you to do, is anybody seen that in the chat? Let me know if you've seen that GIF. I love that GIF. If I'm in a group text and 2 people are about to get into an argument, I like to do that GIF where he's eating popcorn. So that's me stalling for you to get everything pulled up. I've got some templates. If not, you can start from scratch. You need to have these things that are going to allow you to create all of these resources that are going to save you a ton of time. This is a little bit of time setting up, but once you get that figured out, you're going to be able to save so much time on the back end. Okay? So y'all feel good? Now, what is Autocrat? What is it used for? Autocrat is an add-on for Google Sheets. Now, we're going to do a lot of stuff with Google Forms in here. But the reason that Autocrat works with Google Forms is because where does that information go? When you put information in a Google Form, it goes into a Google Sheet. The add-on is technically connected to Google Sheets. I've used this add-on to, whenever teachers did lesson plans, it filled it into a curriculum map and emailed them and their principal and emailed everybody individually. I've used it for student discipline. It would create what's it called? A letter with my signature, everything on it, fill everything in except for whatever their discipline was. So it automatically fill that in. I've used it for scheduling. I had, 50 plus teachers filling out student schedules, and it would generate a schedule for students into a PDF. So we're going to go through several of these today. My thought is we'll start with the discipline one. I think that one's pretty good because teachers can use that, administrators can use that. Everybody can use something to automate some of those discipline letters that they need to send to parents. So we'll start with discipline. We'll start with attendance. I'm taking notes. We'll start with attendance because that's going to be really simple. We'll move on to discipline because that's really important. And then we'll roll and do a couple other things based on kind of what you guys need. We could definitely do lesson plans. Do that one. And we'll do that one because I want to start from what we want it to go into, and then we can create our Google form out of that. From there, we'll look around and see what works, see what we have time for, and hopefully you walk out of this with an auto-generated discipline. We could do, let's see, attendance. We'll do the 2 different attendances. We'll do an easy attendance, and then we'll do like an actual like truancy letter. And I've got templates for a lot of this stuff on the PD page. So check that out and get those templates. Okay, get those templates. That'll be on my website, tarveracademy.com. Tarveracademy.com. Click on PD, or you've already gotten it because I've given it to you. It's on the page that you're watching right now. If you depend on where you got to this video from. So let's make my computer screen larger. This is Google Classroom. We're going to do absolutely nothing with Google Classroom today, even though I do love me some Google Classroom. Let's all take a moment to breathe. We're going to do some learning today. We are going to make some stuff. We're going to actually walk out of this with some practical stuff that can make our life easier and make our classroom run better, or our school run better, or whatever you're doing run better. Take a drink of our coffee. In the comments, what are you drinking right now? Are you drinking some coffee? Drinking some water? Drinking something a little stronger, like a Bang energy drink? Not sponsored by Bang energy drinks. So here we go. So I'm in Google Classroom right now, but I don't want to be. We want to start with attendance, okay? So let's go and let's do just a basic attendance one. And I've got this one I'm going to use from, I'll go to my Instagram account. So if you want, you can join me. Go to Instagram.com/Tyler Tarver. Go through my Instagram account. Oh, wow, I have to have an Instagram? Okay, I just want to go to let me go to my Instagram. I don't want to sign in. Just let me go to my Instagram. Oh my goodness. Why is it making me sign in? Okay, it doesn't matter. Oh, I know another way. Let's go this. Let's go to solo.to/Tyler. Okay. Instagram's safer because, say I don't use Solo anymore, but here we are. If not, just hit me up. I'll give it to you. But solo.to/Tyler. We're going to go down and we're going to make a copy. I've got this resource on here. I should have gone to Tarver Academy. Let's do that. TarverAcademy.com. I know. I'm sorry. Tyler, quit changing up the website. I'm trying to go with the website that I know no matter when you watch this, you'll be able to use it. So we'll go to TarverAcademy.com. We're going to go to resources. And we're going to use some templates and resources. So we're going to go down to, we want to go to the easy attendance. So let's go, we're scrolling down. I'm under my templates. We're going to go use daily, where is it? No, not Google Student Checklist. Okay, sorry, we are looking for, wow, okay, it's not on here. All right, we're going to, oh man, it should be on there by now. I'll fix it right after this. Oh, there it is. I knew it was there. Student daily check-in, check-out form. So we're going to click on this, and it's going to ask us to make a copy. You can make a copy. Remember, I will not have access to this. This is going to belong to you after this moment. So we're going to hit make a copy. Now we've got our student attendance check-in, check-out form. Okay? Sweet. Okay, you can clean this stuff up later. Let's not do it right now. Okay? So this will be student name. You would do let's say this is for students to check in. So that's the idea with this Google form, is that students go into this form every day and they're checking in to let you know that they're checking in either in person or virtually or however you want. And it creates a check-in. This will be great, and you can have it send to their parents. So let's do this. We're going to add name. It's going to pull their email address. We want to have, say your name. Should have said your name. And then we want to do your parents' email address. Okay. Assigned class period. And that's when they would select what class period they're in. How are you feeling right now? 1 to 10. What is one word or emoji that describes how you feel? Where are you learning from today? Main goal. And then is there anything you need from me? Okay. And let's say you're doing it for you to check in, but also you want them to be able to have their parents check it out if they need it to. Okay. So we've got our form. So we need to go over to responses. You see where it says responses? Because we need to create a Google Sheet. Remember, Autocrat, the add-on, rolls into Google Sheets. So we're going to click here. We don't have a Google Sheet yet. That's okay. We're going to create one. And it's going to create a Google Sheet for me. okay? Now, this is your process. You want to create the form so that you know what information you want. Then you want to go in here. Now, we're not going to add Autocrat yet. Actually, let's go ahead and add Autocrat. So we're going to add, I say that, we're not going to add Autocrat yet. We're going to add it right now. Okay, so we're going to say Google add-on Autocrat. Hopefully you've already downloaded it. That's great. We're going to click on Autocrat. It's the first one usually. And let's see, I think, okay, boom. I'm going to hit install, hit continue, hit yes, I agree. I'm installing it for my entire tarveracademy.com organization. Yours is probably just going to ask if it can upload for you. We're going to hit done. Okay. Okay, so good. So we have Autocrat. I don't need it yet. Remember, we've created the form. It generated the sheet. Excellent. Now, what we need to do is we need to create what we want this to go into. So what Autocrat does is it takes the information in a Google Sheet, and then it generates that into an email. Okay, and in the email, it attaches either a Google Doc or a PDF. You could do it with slides as well, but we don't need that. So it's going to generate into that and then email it to somebody for us. So we need to go into Google Drive, and I want to create a, we're just going to go to new. So you're with me? I just went to Google Drive. I'm going to create new, and I'm going to create a new Google Doc. Okay. Now, essentially what you're doing here is you're making a template. You're making a template for your letter to look like. So, okay. So we're going to go, and this is what I usually label. Daily student check-in. And then I put a dash and I put template in all caps. And you want to keep your template somewhere where you don't mess them up. You don't want to type names in here. This has got to stay the way it is. So we're going to create a template. And we want it to be like, write the letter of whatever it's going to look like. So like if you want to import a photo, like I can let me put a picture in here. So let's do, you don't have to do this. I'm just showing you that you can. Tarver Academy. Okay. I'm going to go find some images. And there we go. We can just put this in here. Oh, no, we can't do that. Can we do this one? Yeah, let's do this one. So I'm going to click. I'm going to drag. But you know you can do that, by the way. You can take stuff from images, click, hold it, drag it up to the tab, sit on it, and then drop it in. So I'm going to shrink that down, put that in the center. Okay. And I'm going to call this let's say, so you got to think through, what do I want this letter to look like as it comes to me or the parents? I would call it student check-in, check-in. Let's look at, and I always bounce back and forth from my form so I can make sure I get everything I want in there. So class period, how you feeling right now? What are you learning today? Main goal, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Check in, check out. Okay. So let's say, okay, student check-in. And let's just say this is, I think it said check in, check out. We're just gonna say this is a check-in. Okay. So student check-in. Now we're gonna want to put the student's name up here. So here's where the Autocrat comes in. What you're doing is you're building this Google Doc template that every time it, like the trigger hits for your Google Sheet, anytime there's an input of a new piece of information or anytime you run it manually, what it's going to do is it's going to take that information that's put in there and it's going to filter it through this doc. Okay. It's going to push it through the doc and it's going to fill in the blanks. It's like a Mad Lib for whatever you're creating. So, what I want to do right now is I want my student's name of whoever's filling this out to be at the top of the page. So I'm going to write the student name. Now, anytime you have information, this took me a while to remember, to learn. This is the most important part of Autocrat to creating it. Anytime you want to input information from your Google Sheet into your doc, you need to put those two like arrow brackets. They're like they're two not triangles because they don't connect. They're not three-sided. They're two angles, okay? And you want to put Whatever it is you want to fill in, you want to put it between your two angles. And I'm going to show you on the screen. You ready? This is super important. That's why I'm zooming in. See that? It's where the comma is. You do this, and then you put in this. You don't have to do this part, but this is always going to make it easier for you. Go to your sheet. Find whatever it is you want to fill in. We want it to fill in your name. I'm going to double click here. I'm going to copy. I'm sorry, you can't see. I want it to fill in their name. So I go to the title of the column I want to fill into that sheet. Don't worry, we're going to have multiple times. If you're not getting this, it's okay. You can watch, and then we can do this together. I'm going to select this, copy, and then I'm going to go back over here. Oh, I'm zoomed in. And I'm going to paste. Now, spaces are important. It doesn't mean you can't attach it, even though there's spaces. It's going to make it easier on you later, and I'm going to show you if you get it exactly the same. If there's spaces, dots, dashes, if it's a full sentence, whatever it is in that title of that column, that is what matters for inputting the information in. So whatever is in, hold on, let me do the closing brackets. Okay, there we go. See, now I've got your name. This is where I want the student's name to go in the document, okay? So I want the student's name to go right here, so I'm going to put these brackets around it. Now, whatever happens in this column, because that title is right there between those brackets, anytime it goes in this column, it is going to take from this column, and it's going to put it in that doc. This is where it attaches it. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to do the student check-in, and then I'm going to put the date. So this is what we're going to do this again. And I'm going to go do timestamp because I don't like them to put their own in. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it in here. And then I'm going to close that right there. Okay, now let's keep going. Then we'll do a little formatting. So I'm going to make this okay into the left align now. And then I was just saying name. I know it's redundant, but it doesn't hurt. So then I'm just going to copy this, and it can fill in two places. Like this is all in one column, but I'm having it fill into two places. Class period. Oh, I put class period. What else? Let's see. I'm just going here and I'm making sure I put everything I want in there. So parents' email address. I don't want to put that. I can put their email address. Let's see, assigned class period. That's where I want it to go in. I'm pasting it in there. Let's see what else we need to put in here. We want to put, we can put their email address. So I'm going to take email address, which is pretty simple. I could remember that. I'm actually going to put that. Let's put it underneath name. I was thinking about putting it at the top, but we don't need it up there. Email. Then I could do parents' email. And you're thinking, oh, Tyler, you forgot something. I know. Hold on. So I need to put the two dashes. And then I need to do parents' email address. Your parents' email address. And I can copy it from here too. You can copy it from here. You can copy it from there. You can copy it everywhere. Parents' email address. These I'm going to make bold because I think those are the most important. Oh, I got ahead of myself for formatting. Sorry. Okay, class period. And then I'm going to do, see what else we want to put in there. Parents' email, your name, your assigned class period. We've got all that. Let's do how are you feeling right now? And then I can put this. I can put it right here. And then I can put a dash, and then it'll fill in. Now, you're like, oh, Tyler, you put that in there twice. Correct. I did. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to fill in on the right side, and then on the left side, it's like it's answering the question. Now, you could do a table here if you wanted, but I mean, do y'all want to? We could do that. Do y'all want to? Yes or no in the chat. Do y'all want to do a table? Sure, why not? Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to do a table. So first let's get all the information, then we'll figure out. We'll get fancy in a second. Okay, how are you feeling right now? What is one word or emoji to describe how you're feeling? So let's see. That's going to be a number. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have that there. So it's pretty much the same question. I'm just asking it different ways. and then I'm gonna put it here. So it's actually gonna fill it in twice. So it's gonna fill the number on the scale of how you're feeling right now, and then it's gonna describe their feeling with like an emoji or something like that. Okay. And then what are you learning today? Where are you learning today? And let's look at the question so we can word this correct. School, home, or other. I am learning from I don't know if that's going to sound good when they say online. Let's see. Where are you learning? So school and home. So you got to think through, what is this going to say? I am learning from school. How about this? Let's do this. My learning location today. And then it's going to say school or home. Okay, that makes more sense. It helps to go through and look and read through what it'll look like. Main goal for today. And you could just say learning location, main goal. And we got to do our little brackets. We're going to roll over here. Is there anything you need from me? And then, is there anything you need from me? We're going to put that in here. Needs from the teacher. And then I could put this right here. I think that's important enough to go in its own thing. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Okay, I want to do, let's see, I'm moving stuff around. This is personal preference. You can put yours wherever you want. I put in the class period there. I want parents' email. You can move this stuff around. There's no like limitation on where the order they have to go, how many you can have it fill into 2 or 3 different places. So I'm going to do this. I want to make this down here a table. I think this is pretty important. So I'm going to go to Insert, Table, this, and I'm going to put this in here. Okay, needs from the teacher. Okay. Again, I like things that look pretty, so we're going to do this. Our properties, we're going to make that yellow. And then that's background needs to be transparent. There we go. Needs from the teacher. And then putting this here. Okay. So I've got my important stuff up here: name, email, class period, parents' email. That's the stuff to get in contact with them. Now, this is going to fill into the table. Tables are great for organizing information, especially when it fills in like this. So that's why I wanted to throw one of those into the mix. Also, you can change the font, size, style, all of it. So like, I'm not a huge fan of Arial. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click here and I'm going to change the fonts. I want the font to be Montserrat. Is that how you say it? Montserrat. And I want their name to be bigger. Let's say I want it to be 30. Too much. Let's do 24 in bold. And then I want this to be italics and then the timestamp. Okay? Hey, what's up? How's it going? Wow, it was so good. So good. So great. So we're going to do a break right now. If you need to go use the restroom, grab something to drink, get a snack, whatever you need to do, you can go do that. You know, make a call. I need to make a call. I got a text message. I got a call. If you need to do that, go for it. I'm going to show some videos on the screen that hopefully will add you value in case you stick around, get your notes together, maybe record some stuff you've learned so far, reflect. But we're going to throw some stuff on the screen. There's a timer on the screen to show you how long you have till we jump back in to what we are learning. So keep an eye on that, and I'll see you guys here in a minute. Here we go. Okay, let's go. Hey, Finn, say hi. Hi. So today I want to show you how to make a sick looking resume super easy on Canva. There's a lot more you can do, but this is a super easy way. And I just got done helping some of my college students do this for jobs they're applying for. You ready, Fennec? Okay. So go to canva.com. If you don't have an account, they have free accounts. I've got it linked in my bio for you to sign up. So go in there, and then the search up here in Canva is just sick. Type in resume. It's going to give you all these templates you can start from if you want. Oh my goodness, look at the color on that. That's popping. You just fill in your stuff, put it in there, drag, like literally you can just delete those words and put the new words in. It's just super easy. Don't forget, like, the best part is you can do photos and then you can delete the background. Watch this. Hit effects and then just hit that top one, background remover. Watch this. Bam, look at that. Blah. I'm sorry, I just get hyped about Canva. By the way, we're doing a session at my summer virtual PD for free. Link in my bio if you want. This is a fantastic question and a difficult question. So here's the sitch. Google has not solved that yet. Now they will, because I got faith that the... Can I call them the Googs? I just did. Sorry, not sorry. I got faith that they will add a feature that figures this out. I just know it. Within the year, I would bet a lot of money they will. But for now, what a lot of people want to do is if they use the grade book, what they do is they do it in 9-week increments, okay? And then you just archive that 9 weeks for that class. Then you just add students back at the beginning of the 9 weeks and it's good to go. A little bit annoying, but not terrible. And it allows the grades to be accurate because that is a situation you never want to delete assignments. I had to tell my mom that. She was like, I'm just going to delete my assignments. And I was like, just don't do that because then I'll make you the worst teacher ever. It's not true. She's great. She's whatever. Now, if you don't use the gradebook in Google, you have to use something else that the state makes you use or whatever. Then the world is your oyster. I forgot the saying. What up? How are you? Are you doing good? Are you having a good day? Do you ever wish that when you're in your email, it kind of like consolidated for you to where you could see like calendar events or some like tasks or something? I got you, fam. So I'm in my Gmail right here. If you look to the right side of your Gmail, what is this? Check this. You can hit this, go see your calendar. I have more than that. It's a burner account. Then you can go in here, go to Google Keep. You can import stuff from Google Keep. You can also roll into a task list. You can have to-do lists. Test email. Okay, yeah, like, subscribe. I mean, I'll just go ahead and like, subscribe. You can put your to-do list all over here. You can even import stuff from emails into this. Watch, I can just take this. I can be like, click and drag and drop. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Look at that. Bam. Bam. You can also pull up your contacts. Whoa, whoa, come on now. That's it. All directly from your Gmail. Keep it all on one page. Stay organized. Stay sweet. Stay classy. What? You're not using Google Voice, you need to be, and I'll tell you why. Do you ever get those parents that call and you're like, okay, I need proof that this conversation actually happened? Oh, hello, parent of one of my students who is usually aggravated. Oh, let me tell you something. Could you hold on 1 second?
This call is now being recorded.
I'm sorry, what were you saying? I think we're all trying here. Then whenever you hang up, it's going to email that audio transcript directly to your email. So if you start every phone call you receive from students, parents, or whoever, you'll always have documentation of how that conversation went down. It's just really good to have your own back. From a former principal, straight up, it's always good to have documentation. If you want, I made a shortcut linked in my bio if you want to download the app on Apple. Also, Google Voice is completely free. It's free. Download the app on your phone. Follow for more tips and tricks. Don't miss out on the goodness. Public service announcement for all people using Google Drive. If your Google Drive desktop looks like this, that is not correct. Click on the 3 lines, looks like a Thanos Infinity Gauntlet, and make it look like this. This is the way it should look on a desktop. Prove me wrong. I want the font to be Montserrat. Is that how you say it? Montserrat. And I want their name to be bigger. Let's say I want it to be 30. Too much. Let's do 24. In bold. And then I want this to be italics. And then the timestamp. Okay? So whenever you do that, when you change that font, it's going to change the font as it's filling into the document. Okay. So here we go. All right. So we've got this. We built our template. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to leave it there. I just need it to be in my drive. I'm not going to forms. Remember, this fills in from Sheets. Now I've already downloaded Autocrat and you have too, hopefully. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to add-ons. Going to go to Autocrat and we're going to go to launch. So go into your Google Sheet. You're going to go to Autocrat and then you're going to go to launch. Okay. Now, so far, this is what we've done. Just to review. We went in, we created our Google form with everything we needed, and then we generated a Google Sheet out of that. It's connected to the Google form, okay? Then we went in and created a template that we want that Google form to fill into from. So I'm gonna hit new job. Job name, we're gonna call this, let's call it student check-in. Okay, next. Now, that's step one, you're just titling it. That doesn't really mean anything. It's just if you build like multiple Autocrats. Sorry, I forgot to walk that through. Step one that I just did, let's go back. This right here is just labeling this, this Autocrat job. They call it a merge job, whatever. You're labeling it so that if you build 3 or 4 merge jobs, you can sort through them. So we're gonna hit next. Now we need to attach the template. So I'm gonna go to my drive and I'm gonna find it. Usually it does most recent. So if you just made your template, you should be able to find it. Here it is. It was second to last, daily student check-in. Hit select. Let's make sure we clicked and attached the right one, daily student check-in template. So I'm at next. Now, here's why it's important. Earlier, I was talking about how you would copy paste exactly whatever the question was or whatever the title of the column was. And then you would paste it into, you're going to paste it into this, or I'm sorry, you're pasting it into your template. The reason is because if you get it perfect, spaces and all, then it's going to automatically connect the Autocrat to it because it can recognize it. So let's see if we had any errors. If you had any errors, you'll see like a little red tag there, but it looks like we did everything correct. You can always change it around. Let's say under your name, I wanted to fill in the parent's email. I could. You can change it up. You can choose your own adventure here, okay? Right here, this is the tab, and we're connected to this first tab. Usually it's generated to the first one. Starts at header row 1, data row 2. That's because it wants to skip the titles. And then I can make it a standard is probably what you're going to use most of the time. But you could also do a hyperlink. You can do an image. You have options. We're just going to do standard. So I'm hitting next. It's all attached. I'm checking no red errors. If there's a red error, I'm just going to go in and connect it to where it needs to be connected. Hit next. I'm going to fill in my name the file. So this is anytime you fill out the form and it goes into the sheet, it's going to generate that student check-in. Now, from here, I'm going to have it create a file from this, okay? Here's what you got to think through. How do I want the organization of my files to look? So I could go in and I could do, we could do a timestamp. I don't know if I want the timestamp. I could do the student. It's going to be the student name or timestamp. I'm thinking this is going to go into a Google folder. There'll be PDFs. I think I want it by student first name. So your name. And this is why it's good to have a drop-down list of their names. Don't just like let them write it because sometimes they'll write like, they'll write a nickname or something silly you don't understand, or they'll switch the last name and the first name. So it's going to say their name. And then we want to say check in. And then I'm going to put 2 slashes just because it helps separate. And then I'm going to put timestamp. Okay. You might put their class period in there. I don't know if you want to sort by class period. I think you've got the name, so it should be good. We want it to be a PDF. Now, here's where your option is. You have Google Docs and you have PDF. I'm sorry. You have Google Docs, you have PDF. PDF, remember that when you create a PDF, it's not going to be able to change. It's going to be stuck like that. All right. And we want this one, since it's a check-in form, we just want it to be a PDF. Okay. Output as, I always keep it the first time. I'm not even sure what that second one does. So take a look at this. Make sure that you match up with this. I'll drink some cold coffee. Yep. It's definitely cold. Okay. Hit next. Now you want to choose a folder. You don't want to just go into your drive. So I'm going to click. I can click out of this. Just don't X off of it. And I want to go into my drive. And I need to create a folder for this. So I'm going to hit new. And I'm going to go do new folder. I'm going to do attendance. And I'll just make it go in the attendance. Oh, no, we'll go into attendance and we're going to make another folder called daily check-in. Daily check-in. Okay. I go back to my sheet. And I want to delete my drive because I don't want to just go into my drive. That's going to get too crowded. It's going to get messy. I don't want it to just dump it into my drive. I want it to go to a specific folder. So I'm going to go to choose folder. And then I am going to, it's going to go off recent. So I'm going to go daily check-in, hit select, hit next. And then I want to add, okay, I'm going to be real with y'all. I have put multiple hours into this dynamic folder reference. In theory, what it does is when you add this, it starts like shifting it into folders based on it, which ideally we could do. We could do like, it would go into column. Oh my goodness. I mean, well, let's try it. Assigned class period. Okay, I'll try it. I've never had it work. If this doesn't work, I'm sorry. We're giving it a shot together. It looks like they've changed it. Used to, you had to like import you had to import a document or something. Let's just try this. Let's see what happens. You know what? Let's take the leap. Let's take the leap of faith. Will y'all go on this journey with me? Are y'all cool with this? Okay, we're going to do it. All right, so set the merge condition. Now, this is the criteria for what makes it go, okay? We're going to leave it blank because we want it set up to where anytime a new entry goes in, it goes. Now, where would you want to add this? Let's say you are doing discipline forms to parents and you're a principal and you have it to where the teachers fill out the form and it generates all the information into a letter, and it's a letter for the parents. As a principal, you don't want that letter to go straight from the parents with your signature on it. I'm sorry, straight from the teacher with your signature on it, straight to the parents. You don't want that. You want to be able to look over it, make sure that everything lines up. They didn't like say too much. They weren't too like, because they're the one that it happened to. So sometimes they can be upset about it and it can come out. They can be emotional in the way they use their words if, you know, they're really upset by whatever the student did. And so you want to be able to filter that, check over it. And also, you're the one that assigns the discipline. And so they don't get to pick 5 days of in-school suspension, you know, because they're mad. You have to look at the handbook. You have to determine based on what the teacher said, what you know, think is a worthy consequence. And then you've got to assign that to the student. So I think that you are, set up for success in this. With whenever you do that, you could create a new column that's not in the Google form. It's its own column. And you could say anytime the condition is whenever that column says yes, like, or it's you filling in the discipline, which we'll do this for the discipline one. How's that? We'll do that for discipline. Okay. You fill in the discipline and whatever the outcome is, whenever that gets filled in, then it runs. So what this means is if it's blank, it'll automatically generate the doc or the PDF whenever it's input in there. If you add a condition, that means when something says a certain thing, then it generates it and sends it. We do this for our college. Whenever we have a spreadsheet with all the students, and, you know, students to go to college, they have to get in certain documents. They have to get in like their ACT scores, their high school transcript, their immunization stuff, and then, you know, any college credits they have. And so what we do is we have different emails that generate based on what that student does or doesn't have in as far as documents go. And so we can have it generate based on us saying no to one of the documents. If we type no in there, it can generate a document because it said no. Not even that it was just filled in. Sometimes it's like when you fill it in, not null, it'll generate. Other times it's, you know, it's got to be a certain word. Yes, send, you know, whatever you want. Again, we're going to leave it blank because we want this to generate every time we input it. And next, share the doc. Yes. Okay. If it didn't do this, it would just be generating the PDFs and putting them in a folder, which you could do. But I think one of the strong points of having Autocrat is that it generates an email. Okay. We want to share it as a PDF. Cool. You want them to reshare? Sure. Send from a generic no reply address. If you're sending this out to a lot of people and you're afraid they're going to reply and ask you for stuff or ask you questions, you can put no, yes, I don't want it to come from me. But if not, it's going to come from your account, which allows them to reply to us. It's actually pretty good for what we're doing right here. So who do I want to send it to? I want to send it to the student. So remember, when you click on this, it automatically copies it. So hits that, paste, and then CC. Who else do I want them to send it to? I want it to go to their parents' email address. Bam. If you want to add more than one, I do this for a lot. I'll put in a comma, and then I'll put my email address. That way, every time it fills out, it sends it to you as well, which I would recommend you do. BCC is blind carbon copy, so I could put it in here and send it to somebody without anybody knowing. So, like my friend Leanne, she can't stand it. Whenever I do this, I will do Leanne Pinkerton. Okay, and then we're going to do the subject. Remember, just like it fills in the email addresses, the title of the file, you can have it fill in the subject of the email. So you could say, you could do timestamp. So it'll fill in the timestamp, check-in, and then we could do the student's name. So it's going to fill in. So whenever they input, it could be like, June 2nd, check-in for Tyler Tarver. And then the body of the email. I'm so glad you started your day. Here is what you said about how you feel so far. And you can do this. I'll go back to the template, and then I could just grab this stuff. And then I could paste it in here. So this, how you're feeling right now. I would change that to how you're feeling right now. Okay. And then I would just say scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10. Remember, because parents are going to see this too, so they don't have the context of what's happening. Then I would say how you said you feel via word or emoji. Okay. And then let's see, your perceived. That's why your no, I didn't. I will spell perceived wrong. Oh yeah. Oh no. Okay. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Okay. Where you indicated you're learning from today. Where you're learning today. You'll say home or online. And then our main goal, and I will say your perceived main goal for today. Okay. And then if I'm the teacher and I don't want to go into the PDF, I could say what you indicated you need from your teacher today. Okay, and then I'm going to put that in here, and I can get that from this. And remember, it might not make sense. Like it says, is there anything you need from me today? Like that doesn't feel like it makes sense. But remember, it's filling in the answer from that question. Okay. And then you can say a little personal message. If there's any question, I'll say, you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to let me know. Thanks again. I put too many exclamation points. Anybody else in the chat, do you put too many exclamation points? It's a problem. Okay. So I feel like we've got where you indicated you're learning from. I like the way it reads. Okay, we're gonna hit. Sometimes I'll touch this Tyler. I go in and if I write a lot, I like to copy in case something crazy happens. I just copy all that. So I don't have to type it again. Hit next. Now, this is your last step. When do I want it to run? Do I want it to run like routinely, like once a day, once an hour? Do I want it to constantly run and cycle through? Or do I want it to run as soon as the form submits it? I want it to go on a form trigger. You're going to say yes. Okay, and we're going to hit save. And we just wait. Don't do anything crazy. Get some water, hang out, chill. Bam. Okay, so now we've created it. This is a job. This is an Autocrat job. We have it. It's in Autocrat. I can show you how to get it. Let's hit this X. So I can get here by going to add-ons, Autocrat, and launch. And it should be here. If not, we got to start over. There it is. Now, if it ever gets stuck, every now and then, if I do like a really like huge Autocrat, or I've got it running like, a couple hundred times a day, what is going to happen is you're going to have to go in and hit this play button, and that's going to run the Autocrat. This little editing thing, that's going to allow you to go in and change it, edit it, so you can fix it, adjust things. I always like to run it one or two testers. I run a tester on my own, read through everything, make sure everything filled in correctly. Then I have someone that I trust do a tester for it. And then after that happens, then I'm like, okay, it's good to go out to the world. This is previewed. I can look at it or I can delete it. Okay. If there's an issue, this will be red. So these two things right here will have like a red tag behind them, and it'll say it's like messed up. Okay. So now let's go in and let's see if this works, shall we? I'm going to hit the eyeball. That's my preview. So I'm going to fill out my form. So I want to pull my email address, tyler@tarveracademy.com. Choose my name. I didn't. Goodness gracious. I was going to copy. Let me do this again. Sorry, guys. I was going to give it to where they had names in there. And I'm going to show you a little trick on this. Y'all ready? You're going to love this. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. So find a spreadsheet with your student names. Hopefully you've used my first day of school info sheet. So I'm going to do this. Best class ever. Okay. Oh, sorry. Y'all. Sorry for showing your names. I thought that was going to be my fake one. This is my fake one. I had one that had a bunch of like rando, like made up names. I guess I have it. Okay, let's try something else. Okay, well, I don't want to use people's names in case they don't want, so I'm just create a new spreadsheet. You're going to have a spreadsheet because you went in to my tarveracademy.com/resources, or the link in my Instagram bio, and you have gotten a first week of school, and it's going to fill in. So you're really just copy pasting from the 150 or the 20 or the 5 or the 500 students that you have. So I'm going to say, these are my student names. So Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, Ron Weasley, Draco Malfoy, and then, I'm going to use my boy Steph Curry because he's a wizard on the court. It would have been great to do somebody to play for the Wizards. Okay, you ready? This is a pretty cool feature. So let's say you've got a spreadsheet, and this is just a tip. This is not Autocrat. This is just a good tip. Let's say you've got a spreadsheet, and you have a list of student names. It doesn't have to. It can be 3. It could be 300. You can go click on the top one. So I'm going to click on the top name. I'm going to let go. I'm going to hold Shift, and then I'm going to select the bottom one. That's going to select everything from the top one all the way down. Now I just want to hit copy. So on my Mac, it's Command C. If you have a Chromebook or like a Windows computer, it's going to it's going to be like Control C or something like that. So I'm going to hit Command C. I'm going to go back over here. I need to edit this because I didn't give them names. I just had option 1. So I want to hit paste, Command V. If you're on a Mac, Control V if you're on a Windows. It pastes a list. So you can do this for any list. It could be names, it could be classes, it could be anything. We do this for our courses when students are picking out courses. So there we go. We got a drop down. Remember, if you have a drop down, you're just going to go in and select them. If you want, what if I have a new kid or something, you can hit multiple choice and add other. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, we're leaving. Okay, so now we're going to go in and we're going to do this right, okay? See, that's why I always test out these forms. You never know. You never know what you did or didn't forget to do. Scroll down. I'm going to put my email address again, tyler@tarveracademy.com. Then I would have the student pick their name. So let's say I'm, Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Parents' email address. I can put my other one. So I'll do tyler@tarver@gmail. Then they want to pick their class period. Say it's 5th period. How are you feeling right now? Harry's an 8. Saying had headaches. What does one word or emoji describe how you feel right now? I'm tired. Okay. And then where are you learning from today? He's at Hogwarts, but we're going to say home. Main goal for today, finish fence against the dark arts, homework, and stay away from Snape. It's cheesy, but here we are. Is there anything you need from me? Could you please give me an extension on my divination? Then we hit submit. Usually it takes just takes a few minutes for this to go through. And it looks like it came through. So here we go. I'm going to go check my email. Sorry, I can't see her on my camera. And we're going to hit refresh on the page. So we're going to go and look. Here we go. So it titled the email. We wanted to do timestamp. So it did the date and the time. I see the PDF is there. It says check in for Harry Potter. So it worked on the title. Remember, you're looking for all this because you want to find any mistakes you had. So I'm going to click on it. And let's see. Okay, it looks like it went to me. It went to all the stuff that we had indicated. It filled in the timestamp, said check in for the name of the student. I'm so glad you started your day. Here is what you said about how you feel so far. How are you feeling right now on a scale of 1 to 10? I said I'm an 8. It looks like -8. I probably need to fix that. How you said you feel via word or emoji. Tired, where you indicated you're learning from today. Home, your perceived main goal for today. Finish the homework. What you indicated you need from your teacher today. Could you please give me an extension on my divination homework? If you have any questions or concern, everything filled in. Now, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for gaps. I'm looking for anything that was messed up, anything that is continuity errors, anything that is not rolling the right way on this. Okay. Then we can click on our PDF, which looks like it was attached. Let's see, the title is the name of the student, check-in, date, filled in their name, student check-in, name Harry Potter, my email address, class period, parents' email. How are you feeling right now? I'm an 8 and I'm tired. I like how that turned out with the number and then the slash and then the description. Learning location, home, main goal, finish that homework. Needs from the teacher. Could you please give me an extension? Boom. This is now a snapshot in time. It was sent to all of them. Me as the teacher, or me as the student submitting it, me as the teacher, and the parent. Now, if you ever need to get to these, you could go to your drive, and then you could go to, I think we called it attendance. Double click on that. Daily check-in. And it should be in here. I don't see it. Well, let's hit refresh and see if we can see it. It should go into this folder. I would give it a few minutes because it's probably going to show up in there here in a little bit. But I can always get to it from here. Watch this. So whenever I filled that out, it went into, not that one. It went into this spreadsheet. So it filled everything in. Remember, it's filling all these things in from here. If I scroll over, it's going to show me these documents. So I can see, like, here's the cool thing. Whenever it creates this, say you work out of that spreadsheet a lot. Say you use it for, you're doing something for discipline or whatever. You could go in here at any time, click on it, and then go to that PDF link from here. So it keeps it in the spreadsheet. It's almost like it creates a new column and then attaches these documents in there. I used to use this to run for teachers to choose their PD for the summer. And I could go in, I could sort by building, and then I could copy paste, and I could go in and look at any of their stuff. I didn't have to search my email for all the documents. I'd have to go into Google Drive, which that's kind of wigging me out that it isn't in there yet. I'm going to look. Okay, let's check one more time. Man, where you at, little buddy? Did y'all see me select it wrong in there? Maybe I did. Maybe I put it in the wrong folder. Okay, let's go to this. Let's see if it's in recent. Recent. Let's see if we can find it in location. So we want to show, I'm going to right click on it. And I'm going to go show file location. Looks like it just went to my drive. Did I attach it? I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just stuck it on my drive. Let's go fix it. So this is what you're doing. You're doing this so you can go back in. You can go to add-ons. You go back into, you relaunch Autocrat. You go to edit. I'm just going to hit next. See, I've got it under daily check-in. It's so weird that it didn't go there. Let's try one more time. Maybe it's waiting to go there. I just feel like it's weird. I've never seen the issue with this. But it's in your drive, so it's like you have it. And we have a quick way to get to it through the sheet. Might be a permissions issue. We'll have to check. Okay, sweet. I'm going to reattach it just in case. I'm going to hit choose folder. I can just put in attendance. I'll do a daily check-in. Hit select. And I'm going to hit save. Okay, so we're done. We did it. Now, anytime a student goes in and generates that, it's going to email them, their parent, and me. Okay, and then I can always go look at it because a lot of kids are going to be like, I'm going to put a different person by my parent because I want them to know. But the parent comes to expect the email too. They want to know, like, say their students working from home. They want to know that it actually, like, they got their day started. And so it might help them know, and that consistency allows them to check in on the students. Okay, we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to get rolling for part 2. Okay, see you guys in a minute. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Hey, it's Tyler here. I'm just gonna give you a little break. So if you need to go do something, you need to go use the restroom, get a snack, get something to eat, whatever, you can go do that. I was gonna chat with you about some stuff, give you some time to do that and check in, maybe say hi. If you want in the chat, let's do a little check-in. In the chat, how you feeling? Toss in your emoji of how you're feeling right now. Let's do a little emoji checkup, if you will. So while you're doing that, I do want to give, you know what? I spent a lot of time writing this book, and I genuinely think this book is going to help you in your classroom. It's gonna inspire you more than anything. It's a read with me, and one of the things that I feel like I've never been the smartest dude in the room. I've never been, the most talented, but I'll say this: I was always been pretty approachable. I think I've been approachable, and I think what this is, I've tried to be as relatable as possible. I'm talking about my experiences, things I've run into in the classroom, what I've learned as a teacher and as an administrator and as a student, what I learned. And so this is the Baller Teacher Playbook. If you're interested in checking this out, I recommend. Of course, I recommend. It's my book. It's not the best book on education, but I think it's good enough to help you in some way. It's got a lot of practical experience in it. I've got quotes. That's a do you boo boo. I could have picked a better chapter. Here's one thing. I want to show you one thing that I did at the end of each chapter because I know teachers. Okay, I've put in practical application. I put in reflection because we know reflection is important, even though we never have time to do it. But it's got spots for you to write that in. So this is something you can work on by yourself or with your team. But here's the part that I did, and this is legit just for teachers. I don't know if you can see that. I put in, at the end of each chapter, I have a section called TLDR. That's internet talk for too long, didn't read. So what that means is, let's say you've got a team meeting, okay? Because there's 18 chapters in here. That means you and your team, or you and your building, you can go through a chapter once a week. You meet on your planning period, spend 10 minutes talking about what you did, what you tried, what worked, what didn't work, stuff to help improve your class and improve your students. Every week you can do that. Have you ever done this? In the chat, be honest, you ready? Have you ever had a team meeting where you're supposed to read something and you're walking over to the meeting and you're like, oh no, I forgot to read the thing I'm supposed to read that we're gonna discuss for like 15 minutes. So you like just try to chill and like hopefully don't get called on or get called out for not reading it. At the end of each chapter, I have a section called TLDR where in like 2 to 5 bullet points, I summarize the chapter. So you could be walking to the meeting, you could read these 3 or 4 bullet points and be able to have a conversation about the entire chapter. There's stories in here, there's practical experience, there's ways that I messed up, ways that I failed, and then ways that I feel like I succeeded, and just talking through what I learned from both of those. And I would love for you to learn and grow with me. So if you want to check out that book, it's on Amazon. I'll have a link on the screen if you want to get it. Link is in my bio. I link links everywhere to it. So Baller Teacher Playbook. I think it can help you in your classroom. Okay, we're about to get started. Kick back into it. Hopefully you're ready to roll, ready to go. And let's jump back in. Let's jump back in like Michael Phelps, okay? Well, does that work? Does that work? I mean, he jumps into the pool. That's what I was going for. I need to know more like high diver. High divers would have been better. I'll tell you this. We're gonna stick the landing like Carrie Strug. Y'all remember her? Carrie Strug, remember the Olympics? Georgia Olympics? Atlanta Olympics? Remember that? It's okay. It's a very narrow reference. All right, let's get started. Let's kick it off. Let's jump back in. Get your notes out. Get your screens pulled up. Get your coffee ready. Get your ice water. Your sweet tea. If you're from Arkansas like me, you know you like that sweet tea. And we're about to kick it off. Here we go. Let's get back in it. Let's get back in it. I'll see you guys. Hey, what's up? Welcome back. So we are now going to move on to how do we create something for discipline that can save us time using Autocrat, the add-on. Okay, so the thought process here is if you are a teacher, if you're a classroom teacher, you're using this to generate a letter to parents, something that you can keep on file as documentation that looks official and can be easily documented. So the reason I like using Google Forms for discipline is because you get a spreadsheet where you can sort things. But then let's say you want to, every time you input it, whether it's a verbal warning, like an official discipline write-up, whatever it is, to where you can send that to parents and it looks legit, it looks official. You're communicating, you have documentation, all of it. And then you have the spreadsheet that you can do data, you can sort, you can do a ton of stuff with that spreadsheet. So think through the options here. I think there are a ton of options when it comes to this. Now, that's a classroom teacher. If you're a principal, say you're a principal or assistant principal, the idea would be that you give this Google form, and I'm going to give you a template for that too. You give this Google form to all of your teachers. They all look at the same Google form, and anytime they have a discipline issue and they need to send a student to the office, they fill it out. And so they're doing 98, I'd say 97, I'd like to be accurate, 97% of the work for you. And then all you have to do is you have to go in and fill in whatever the discipline is, and then maybe adjust some wording if one of your teachers filled it out in a way that you don't want to reflect your voice. So let me show you, and we're going to walk through this together. I'm going to go and I'm going to show you, if you haven't downloaded the discipline form yet, I'm going to show you where you can get that. You can go to tarveracademy.com, Tarver, V as in vampire, academy.com. So go there and we're going to go to resources. And we're going to use templates and resources. Okay, and we want to scroll down to discipline. Classroom discipline form. And when you click on this, it's going to ask you to make a copy. You're going to say, well, of course I'd like to make a copy. Classroom discipline form. It's under tarveracademy.com/resources. Go into classroom discipline form. Okay, now if you already made the copy earlier, just go find it in your Google Drive. We are going to edit it. Now, you can delete this stuff. This is just a message from me. I'm just talking about some of the stuff that you can do to get connected and all the stuff. I go, Tarver Academy on a roll. What's up? That's where you go. That's the move. Okay, and we talked last time about how to drag and drop student names in here. I'd highly recommend that. In case you forgot, you just go in a spreadsheet, you select the whole column of student names, and then you paste it in here as multiple choice or drop down. Okay, now remember, I have a discipline sheet or discipline Google form that I recommend students fill out. that generates into something, like you fill it out and then it generates, and you can generate a letter from there if you want. It's the same premise. I'm doing it as if, in my mindset, this is a form that is only available to the teachers. The teacher's filling this out. So you can do student name, you can drag and drop. You need to go in, you need to change whatever grades you teach, or you're overseeing. You're building 6, 7, 8. You could be a 9. Say we're a high school, 10, 11, 12. It doesn't ever hurt to add other, just in case. Like, say you get an 8th grader that moves up into your building or whatever. So it doesn't hurt. Date of incident. I think it's a pretty good question. When did it happen? Before school. It's an 8-period day. You can delete it if you're not an 8-period day, if you're on block, whatever your schedule looks like. You're on flex mod schedule. You ever done that? We did that. Teacher name. It could be your name. If you are a principal, I would go in and I would do the thing where you copy paste the column of teacher names and you put them all in here. That way they can just select their name, because I've had it to where teachers write their name in all lowercase. They write a nickname. They write just the last name, just the first name. They'll do the first name, then the last name, comma, the first name. Go ahead and put all that in there. And you could put all this. Remember, you could copy and paste 500 students into the student one for the drop down. Teacher name, you could do. And if you wanted, like, say you didn't want to drag and drop, I'll give instructions up here. So go to the 3 dots right here. It looks like a CrossFit snowman. Click on that, go to description. And then I always say, type first name, then last name. Example. Mickey Mouse. There you go. And that way they know how to put it in there. Again, it improves the odds that they're just doing it at random, but that way you don't have to put 500 or 600 students in there, because there's a lot of students moving into the district. They go by a certain name as opposed to another name. Teacher names I would drop in there, though. I had that on mine. I had all my teachers' names in there. Okay. Now on behavior, I've got it set up. I would go in. We can do this right now. You don't have to do it all now, but you can do this later. And again, it won't change your Autocrat. It just changes the drop-down options. So with this one, on our handbook, the handbook I have for my building, you would open it up, and in the middle, it was like this, these charts of all the discipline issues that students could commit at our school. And then I have a minimum punishment and a maximum punishment for each of those. And so I literally just went in and I got every single one of the ones that are in our handbook. So if a teacher goes in and they select 1 or 2 or 3 of these things, or 5, and they send it to you, it tells you exactly where to look in your handbook. So if you don't have that in your handbook, I highly recommend getting that. And I did check boxes. Remember, these are multiple choice because of the circle. So you can only select one. With this is, you can select multiple, because usually when a kid gets in trouble, it's not just like, oh no, they punched another kid. It's like, oh no, I keep yawning. I'm sorry. I didn't bring any water in here. I don't know if water helps or not. I, for some reason, think it does. How do you get rid of yawning? Anybody got a cool way in the chat? Let me know. How do you get rid of yawning? Like, I've heard hold your breath. No, that's hiccups. What am I doing? What am I thinking? Okay, let's say that in the chat. How do you get rid of hiccups? And then also, how do you get rid of yawning? If you're saying, like, how do you get rid of yawning? You're like, go to sleep. Yeah, that's one way to do it. So this checkbox, remember, this means you can select one. This means you can select multiple. Usually when a kid gets in trouble, they're not just like, oh, I got to fight. It's like, I cussed at a kid and then I got to fight. You know what I mean? And then it's insubordination because they didn't listen to you when you're like, stop fighting, y'all. Positive behavior. I recommend this as well. It doesn't really translate here if you're sending it to the principal. Maybe they don't need to be like, hey, because you wouldn't, like, I don't know. Talk to your principal. If you're a principal, figure out if you want the positive in there. Teacher intervention. What all did you do? I did a verbal warning. I did a first offense, second offense, and then I sent them to the office. Because every teacher might have different procedures when it comes to like getting the students to your office. And this is important. Describe the incident. That's where they tell you. I would probably make that required. I can't believe I didn't already have it required, and now it's required. So they have to see this. Let's see. You'll see that red asterisk. That means it is required. Okay. So we've got our discipline form. We've done that. So I'm going to go to responses. And I'm going to create a spreadsheet, and I'm going to just leave it as is. You can retitle it if you want to. I'm just going to use it what it was. Okay. So we've got all of our stuff in there. Now, what we want to do is we want to go in and we want to create an Autocrat that generates based on, like, it builds a letter after we put the information into the Google form. So remember, we're not going to go to, you're like, okay, go to add-ons, go to Autocrat, let's go. This is building the email. This is afterwards. We need to create a template first. And I've actually given you some example templates. I've got it in my, I think it's on the PD page for this. But I think I've got them right here. Said, nope, that's not it. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Autocrat. I don't want that. I want classroom walkthrough. We did that. I need to create a Google Doc of it, and I've got it somewhere. Let me just search. Let me search. You hopefully are using this time to go get it on the PD page, because I'll have it linked. And I have this. I made some of these. My friend Josh, he is a principal. Joshua, he is a principal, and he made a lot of these as well. Let's go here. Nope, I keep clicking on the same thing. Let's try this. Here it is. Okay, templates. Okay, copy of attendance letter template. Okay, so you've made a copy of it. We're not doing attendance letter. We're doing discipline referral. So I'm going to make another copy of this. I'm actually going to move it because I don't want to hear. You can put it wherever you want. It doesn't matter. Remember, it just matters that you're able to find it whenever you attach it later. I try to keep all my templates in one folder. I know it doesn't look like it because it's super ratchet right here, but I try to keep them all in one folder. I'm going to rename it. So you can right click, hit rename. So it doesn't say copy of. So I'm going to call this fake school. I'm going to call it Tarver Academy. Tarver Academy is a fake school. Tarver Academy, it's a YouTube school. Tarver Academy. Tarver Academy. What am I doing? This is a discipline letter template. Okay, so you've created yours as well. So we've made a copy of that, or you can start from scratch. It's fine. You can type it in as we go. So let's go in. I'm going to adjust it, see if there's anything I need to change. I think actually my friend Joshua made this one. Let's take a gander. Okay, you can use the school letterhead up here at the top. I bet that's what he has. So you can have a school letterhead. Show up. And they stay there. Okay, yep, there's his letterhead. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to put my own. So you can take that template and delete it. My goodness. Okay, it's actually in the header. That's cool. Okay, so let's find a Tarver Academy logo. Tarver Academy PNG. You can use Tarver Academy if you're like, I don't have time to do it right now. I'll do it later, but that's fine. Go ahead. Let's do this. We're going to drag it up to the top. Remember, you can drag this up. We're going to hold it, and then we're going to drop it. Okay. We don't like that. That's disgusting. It's too large. I'm going to shrink it and then center it. Okay. Make it a little bit bigger. I know it doesn't matter, but it matters to me. Far. There we go. There we go. Okay, we're good. Okay. Your child, student first name, student last name. Okay, so I don't have mine split up like that. So he had a different one. So let's do, I want to go into my questions. Remember, if you get it right here, it's going to be better. So we're going to do student name. And you can split it up. I didn't. So I'm going to go in and do student name. Then I'm going to take out the middle. Student name has been assigned. Disciplinary action taken by administration. Okay, so here's what he did. And I'm going to show you both of these. I'm going to show you the first one, and then we'll go back in and add this. So don't let me forget. He has it to where the disciplinary action. Now, in the Google form, if you remember, the teacher is filling this out. So I don't really want to put what disciplinary action they picked because they're not allowed to assign the discipline. The administrator has to do that. And so what he did was he did not have it send an Autocrat immediately after. Okay, so I'm going to show you both. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete this. I'm sorry, not that. We're going to delete that line. Actually, we're going to leave that line here, and then I'm going to show you later how to do that, okay? For a period of blank days, okay? The reason for this consequence. So neither this or this are in there, but we're going to put them in later, okay? The reason is you. In the chat, does anyone remember what song that was? I'll tell you here in a second. It's like, you remember in those magazines, highlights? It's like, if you want the answer, skip to the bottom. It's like upside down at the bottom of the page. Do you know the answer to the reason is you? Who sang it? Put it in there. If you said Hoobastank, you would be correct. Sorry. The reason for this consequence is, and then we want to put describe the incident. I think that goes here. We'll find out later. So this is now here. So, he did it. Describe the incident. I don't think he had the capitalization. It's fine. If your child is assigned to Saturday school, it is used an alternative to school suspension. When possible, I like to read through this because I'm thinking through the process of like, I'm sending this to a parent. Is this what I want it to say? It will be held in room 210. You probably need to change that. I'm going to delete this because it begins at 8 a.m. and runs till 12 noon. If student, let's change that. So student name. I guess that's why I did first and last name, because it sounds more personal. How about this? We'll just say if you're a child, then we don't have to worry about it. If your child fails to attend Saturday school, he or she will be assigned 3 days of ISS. If a child is assigned ISS, it'll be used alternative to school suspension when possible. So it'll be required to follow strict guidelines established by the ISS program. If the student does not follow these guidelines, let's make it, we don't need this, because it's going to be weird if the student does not follow these guidelines, Harry Potter will be assigned. I would say they will be assigned additional days of ISS, OSS, or expulsion. While on ISS, students will be allowed to turn in all assignments and receive the appropriate credit. Let's do if, again, I'm deleting if they are absent during any part of the day or are late to school, they will be required to make up the entire ISS day unless pre-approved to the principal or assistant principal. During ISS, your student is not allowed to attend class or any extracurricular activities. If your child is serving out of school suspension, let's do this again. So pretty much what he did is he lined out, these are the main things. You got this, you got in school, you got OSS. Make them need to go work. I'm just changing them to they because it doesn't really fit. Not be allowed to be on Bauxite School District. Be on our campus. Our campus is more generic. Nor attend activities involving our school. Any questions, please contact us at, don't call them. Let's do 501. What's my number? 214-4071. That's not it. Is that it? Is that the number people call, text if they want to hit me up? You can put their number. I'm just going to put a blank. You know their number. You find your number, okay? My buddy Josh made that. Thanks, Josh. I say Tyler Tarver. And I say principal, Tarver Academy. By the way, Tarver Academy existed before Minor Academy. No big deal. But I did help start it, which is pretty cool. Okay. I'm just going to say this. I want it to look like an official letter. Okay, if you have any questions, please contact the high school office. Okay, great. So right now, with all it's filling is this. It's like, okay, I think we can do, I want to describe the incident a little better than this. So you can too if you're feeling it. I'm going to say student handbook violation. And then I'm going to put this. What was it? It was like the list. Where is it? Behavior. I want it to be that. Okay, so in my mind, it's going to be student handbook violation. It's going to say where that happened. And the reason this consequence is, I'm going to say date of incident. Date of incident. I want to put the date in there. I'll give you guys this template. Not a big deal. Okay. And you're like, well, I could do timestamp. Remember, if you do timestamp when you fill this out, that means that you're relying on everybody to fill it out immediately, which might not always be the case. Okay. But you don't need to really put teacher name in there. You just need to put the violation, and then I'm going to date of incident, and then I'm going to put description of incident. Okay, make this bold. I think this is important stuff. It's like the TLDR on the internet, too long didn't read. So let me put whatever that question is. The incident. So this will allow them to see a description of what happened. Okay. So right now, the only thing that's not going to autofill is disciplinary action taken by administration, and then for a period of blank days. Okay. So we've got our template. I'm going to leave it there because we're going to come back and do some stuff later. I want to give you the option of that. But the main thing is that we have this. Okay. So I'm going to go into, now I'm going to Autocrat. So I'm going to go to add-ons. Launch Autocrat. Okay. We're going to create a new job. Remember, you're like, well, I just made one earlier. That one is attached to the spreadsheet that we were in earlier. We're in a different spreadsheet now. We're in a discipline spreadsheet. That one was attendance. So job name, this is going to be teacher discipline. That's not important. It just matters for how you find it later, especially if you create more. Okay. So let's, I think I called it copy of, nope, Tarver Academy. So I'm going to find my template. Here we go. We're going to hit select. So now it's attaching to my template. So it's fetching, they call them tags. The tags are like what I put in those little V brackets, sideways V brackets. Okay. So this one and this one. Now we've got the chance to look at it. This is what it looks like if you do not have something mapped for it to fill in. Okay. We did not fill in disciplinary action taken by administration and the number of days because that is not decided by a teacher. Okay. So we would do this. Teacher name. We didn't really, do we have teacher name in there? But I mean, we'll put it in there. It's teacher name, date of incident. I don't remember putting that in. A student's first name, that's not going to be in there. Is this, I mean, it's not in there, but we can do student name. Maybe I left it in there. We'll find it in a second. Date to begin discipline. We don't have that. Period to begin. Okay, these are all from his old one, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's in here. Let me look. Make sure there wasn't like a second page that I'm missing. Pretty sure I got it. But we're going to go in. Date to begin discipline. Period to begin. Don't know. Date discipline will end. Period to end. Okay. So I didn't map those. I don't know if it's going to be a problem. But we're not going to do it. Okay. Next, file name. Okay. So I'm going to file this by student name. Or I can click on it and it'll copy it. And then I'm going to put the teacher name. Now me find it later. That's I'm going to see a lot of files if a teacher and a student don't like each other. And then I'm going to do, I can do the date or I can do the behavior. Probably do behavior. And next, we don't want it to go to Autocrat. We want to remove that. Remember, this is the thing that acted a little silly last time. I need to check and see if it actually worked. So let's say, let's start it here. New folder. And then I'm going to say discipline reports. Oh, discipline reports. Okay. And we're going to go here. And we're going to choose our folder. And we're going to connect it to the discipline reports folder. Select. And we're going with it. Okay. You can put that whatever folder you want. You can attach that anywhere you want. Any way you want it. Hit next. No dynamic folder. Set merge condition. Don't need that. I'm going to have it. So here's where we're going to get into this later. We're going to do this once without it, and then we're going to do another one with it. So we're going to merge condition, none. Share the doc, yes. Okay. As a teacher, you can set it up to where it shares the doc with the parent or you and the student, however you want to do it. I'm going to set it up as an editable doc. Last time we did it as a PDF. This one, I don't want to go directly there. I want to look at it first. It's essentially creating the letter for me, for my parents. Okay. and I want to send it to myself. So I'm going to send it to gmail.com. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Okay. And you can CC, like if you have like an administrative assistant or assistant principal, whoever that you would want it to go to as well. And then they'll be able to see you updating in real time. So type in the subject, and then we just call it, let me get the student name. Call it discipline issue. Student name. And then I'm going to put teacher name. I think this would be good. Okay. All right. And then discipline referral for student name, teacher name. And I want to say discipline issue. And then I would say behavior. And I'm going to do incident. That's spelled that right? It looks like it's not right. Describe the incident. Okay. So in this email, it's for me from the teacher. So really all I want to know is like, what's the kid's name? What teacher reported it? What did they break? And then what is the incident? Because this is like, I have had issues when I was a teacher where I had a student that was in trouble. And so what I did was I had the student, I sent him, I said, go to the office. I'm going to, because usually they'd call down and talk to me and I'd tell them what happened. Or I'd email them, and I sent the student out, and I like once or twice a year, I'm sending the kid out. So send him out, and then I am hanging out in my room teaching. And I guess I'm going to send the email maybe. And I get a call from my principal, and he's like, hey, I just got called and griped out by this kid's mom, and I have no idea why. And also, he's not even here, so I have no clue. She's griping about him getting in the office. I have not seen him. And it turns out what the kid had done is he had gotten in trouble, left class, went to the bathroom, called his mommy. He was in 10th grade, called his mommy, and she called up there and griped about me to the principal. And then he had like legit, he like walked, I think before that he had walked back in class, like acting like he had gotten a paddling and sat down. So he straight lied and then ratted himself out through that. I mean, I would have emailed the principal anyways at the end of class. I was just frustrated. It's almost like, I don't know if I wanted him to sit there longer. I can't remember, but as soon as the student commits the atrocity, you can fill it out and it'll automatically send in them as the principal. They'll have all the information they need, when they get them. Can I tell you another fun story about when I was principal? This one's a good one. Okay. So we had cameras. We had cameras everywhere in our buildings. And I had a young man. I got a call, and it was from one of my teachers. He said, hey, so-and-so's on a phone. He won't give it to me. He says he didn't have it, but I saw him on it. So I'm sending him over to you. I said, okay. So I go watch the camera, and I see this kid. And we had like this, like you go between the rooms, and there's like this breezeway area where it's like outside and there's picnic tables, and you walk through, and then you go down to my office. Well, this kid starts walking out, and then I see him walk between there. He doesn't know they have cameras. He's looking around, runs out and hides his phone in underneath the picnic table. And so what I did was I saw that happen, and I shut my door, and I called my administrative assistant. And after he came back in, I called her and I said, hey, he just hid his phone out there. Can you go get it, please? And then put it in your desk. She was like, yeah, sure. I told her exactly where it was. She went out and got the phone. Student comes to my office, and he's sitting there, and I'm talking to him. I'm like, hey, I heard that, you had your phone in class. You're not supposed to have your phone. And he was like, oh yeah, I don't have my phone today. And I was like, are you sure? He sounded pretty certain that he saw it. He's like, no, I don't have my phone. He's like, you can check me. You can check my pockets. I don't have it. I was like, no, I don't have to do that. I trust you. I know you would never lie to me. I know that, we have a good relationship. We have a good rapport. And so I trust you. I completely trust you. You would not lie. Are you sure that you don't have a phone on you? He's like, no, sir, I don't. It's like, okay. And like on my computer, I can see my secretary go out, get the phone, and go back to her desk. And so I was like, all right, man, you can go back. If you don't have a phone, you're good, man. And then he went back, And I saw him walking back to the classroom. And then he goes out and he stops in that breezeway and he goes out and he starts looking for his phone. He's trying to find it. He's looking under everything. And so I walk up to my secretary at the front, get the phone, take it back to my office. He's looking around. He looked around for probably 5 minutes. And then I'm watching. When he comes back into my office, sits down and says, okay, so somebody stole my phone. I go, your phone? You didn't have a phone. He's like, okay, so I was lying to you earlier. I have a phone and somebody stole it. We got to find them. They stole my phone. It's theft. And I was like, I have your phone. And I said, I'm also kind of disappointed that you lied to me. And we talked about it. And, he got disciplined based on what he did and also what he lied about. So that's a fun story. It's a true, 100% true. I'm not exaggerating any of that. So 100% true story. In the chat, have you ever had anything like that happen to you? I know we've never had students lie to us. So, okay. Thank you for that story time with Tyler. And we're going to keep rolling along. Okay. So okay, next, run on form trigger. Yes. And yes. So what it's going to do is every time it's submitted, it should build it into an email, send it to me, and then I can fill it out. And that's going to be step 1. And then I'm going to show you the other option. Okay. So I'm going to save. That's okay. I got to map these tags. I guess I could do, because I don't want to fill it in now. I might just delete those. Okay. Let's pretend we'll just put grade. So it'll be a number. Okay. Oh, well then that would mess up let's just do grade there. If we forget and we put 11th graders, 11 days, date to begin discipline, we'll say, timestamp or date of incident, do class period. I don't remember where this was on the form. I don't know why these things are here to map, but I ain't going to question Autocrat. They're smarter than me. Date discipline will end. And then, I don't know, just keep it there. Okay, now let's try saving it. Okay, we're going to run it once. Maybe we'll find out where I messed up. Hopefully, if you already have it, tell me in the chat. Okay, so we need to fill out this form. So I'm going to fill this out, the eyeball. Okay, so let's fill it out. So student name, Harry Potter. Say grade 9, because all the discipline issues are happening with 9th graders. Date of incident was today. By the way, did you know this? When I was a principal, we used to track this with Google Forms, and we got the chance to break down some really good data, get some real good looks at, what are some issues we're having at the school? What are some issues that, we can learn from? And most of our discipline issues happen at the end of April, the last week of April. And we attribute a lot of that to, one, you haven't had a break in a while. It's been kind of a sprint to the end of the year since spring break, and everybody's just kind of sick of everybody's face. And so that, plus we have testing all month, and that's stressful. So there you go. Class period, we'll say it's 5th. Teacher name, Tarver. Behavior, we'll do cell phone, because we just talked about it, and disrespectful, because he lied to me. Okay. Littering and name that movie in the chat. Littering and. Okay. Teacher intervention. We'll do a verbal warning, first offense, refer to office. Okay. Describe the incident. Billy had his phone out during the lesson, was instructed to turn it in. He lied and said he didn't have it. Okay, we hit submit, and then we should get an email shortly. Okay, so let's wait and see. Wait and see if we get this email, and then if it works, I'm going to show you the other way to do this. Okay, so let's see if we got that email. It's not my regular email. There it is. Nope, that's from my friend Leanne. Okay, nope, this is pretty good. Okay, thanks. Hasn't come through yet. Oh, there it is. Discipline issue, Harry Potter, Tarver. Okay, so a teacher's filled out a discipline issue. It's generated into an email. It filled in their name. It filled in the teacher's name. Discipline referral for Harry Potter, teacher Tarver, discipline issue, cell phone violation, comma, disrespectful behavior, comma, littering. Incident, Billy had his phone out during the lesson, blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look at our doc. And your child, Harry Potter, has been assigned nine for a period of 9 days. Okay, so this is where we would go in and fix it. Now, here's what you should do, okay? If this is what you want, then you should go into your template and you should just make it to where it's this. Anything you're filling in as a principal, you should make it lines because you don't want to have to fill it in and see all these like rando numbers being filled in, okay? Referred to Tarver on this. We'll begin. Is there a punishment on blank? Okay, so this is another one. During period what? It will end on blank. During period. And again, you can just delete this whole sentence. If it doesn't apply to you, just delete it. But if you are wanting it to like generate into this email, I would make those blank. That way you don't forget to go in and change those. You don't want it to fill in from that stuff. That was a bad move on my part. Okay. Description of incident. You might even put this in a box. Honestly, if I were you, I would probably make that into a table. I'll make that in the template for you. I never changed Josh's signature because it's way cooler than mine. Okay. Looks like everything else filled in correctly. Sorry, that's bothering me. Okay. ISS, in-school suspension. Do y'all have that at your school? Let me know. If not, what do you use as an alternative? I'm interested to know. Okay. Your child, Harry Potter, is going to sign blank for a period of blank days. Okay. Cool. Okay. And it fills in that information. So what you would do is you would get this email from teachers. It would build in this doc. You'd be sitting there speaking with the student. You'd find any information you needed to verify that they were either, guilty or innocent of what they're accused of. And then what you would do is you would fill in this, you double click and you fill in been assigned, ISS for a period of 3 days. You'd fill in the information. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to show you the other route. Okay. So that's one way to do it. And then you fill it out. Oh, sorry. I'm going to delete that. And then whenever you get done, you fill in everything. You're going to want to either A, tell your administrative assistant that, they can look and say, hey, once all these blanks are filled in, you can go ahead and email this to the parent, or you can go to File, Download, it's PDF. And then now you have a PDF of it and you can send it to whoever you need to. And you're like, why don't you just create a PDF in the beginning? Because we had not filled in the discipline, like what actually happened with the discipline. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the way that I believe Josh did it based on what he had in there. He was the principal for the building after I left. So I'm going to delete this one. Delete. Okay, so what he did was he created some more columns, okay? And you can do this too if you want and give it a shot. Give it your best. Hit me with your best shot. Let me adjust this so I can see it on diving around my camera. Here we go. Okay. So he created these. So let's look back over here. And he said, your child blank has been assigned disciplinary action. Okay. So he had a column for this. I'm just going to copy that. Disciplinary action taken by administration. And then, discipline days. Say number of discipline days. Copy that. Now remember, you want to make new columns for each of these. So I'm going to insert one to the right. There we go. Those three fill in. Student was referred by teacher name on date of incident. This is their behavior. Student first name. Remember, that needs to be student name. Yes, I forgot to change that. So there we go. There we go. Found out where I messed up. Punishment on date to begin discipline. So we need to make that a column because that's not one. So again, I'm filling in. I'm making the spots for what I want to fill in. Now, you're like, well, they're not in the Google form, Tyler. No, they're not. Remember, Google Forms fills into a Google Sheet. The Google Sheet is where the actual Autocrat add-on runs from, okay? During period, and then I'll say period to begin. I don't really want to do that. I just don't think that that's necessary. Punishment on that, and it will end on blank. You can do that. If you want to add that, go for it. Do it the same way I'm doing it. And then I'm going to put discipline will end. Okay. Put that in here. I need to put right click. There we go. Now, what I usually do so that I don't like scroll over into nowhere, I like to go up here. Do you see this right here? You see where I have this little hand on this upper left-hand corner? I'm going to click and drag that over. That's going to lock in that information. Now I can scroll over here and it's not going to mess it up. And then actually I'm going to take this row and I'm going to wrap that row. There you go. Okay. Cool. All right. So here's what we got. What he did was I'm going to go into my add-ons, go to my Autocrat, launch, and I'm going to change something in here. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to change. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to edit. Remember, that first one was it's going to build the Google Doc. You just fill in those pieces of information you need to finish it out, and then you forward it to either your administrative assistant or your, whoever's in charge of that, or the parent. You can email it directly to the parent. Now what I want to do is I don't want it to create a document immediately. I'm setting this up now to where it goes into my spreadsheet. I, as the administrator, have the spreadsheet up. I use that to be like, okay, you did this, you did this, you did this. And then I go in and fill in the discipline, and then I generate it, okay? So hit next. It looks like everything filled in correctly. Date of incident. Nope. This needs to be date discipline will begin. Date discipline will end because I got to fix what I did earlier. Date of incident. Make sure everything's right. Describe it. Number of discipline days. Disciplinary action taken by administration. Boom. So there we go. Okay, cool. And I got rid of those ones that were sketchy. Okay, we want that to be the same. I kind of liked that. Goes in discipline reports. I'm fine with that. Set merge. Okay, here we go. Set up merge condition. Now, this is before if it runs, it's just going to straight, run. Like, I'm sorry, let me say that better. Before, as soon as it was submitted and it filled in the blank, it just ran. We don't want that. We want to add on number 7 a merge condition. We want to have something in these columns before it generates. So this disciplinary action taken by administration, not null. That means that once I put something in that column, that specific column, it'll generate. The rest of the columns can be full and it not send it, but that one needs to be filled with something and it'll go. Okay. Afterwards, I don't need it to be an editable doc. I can just be a PDF. I can skip that step and make it a PDF. I want to send it to myself. I can add my administrative assistant. So it'd be Pinkerton L. She loves this. She said nice thing. Okay. So it'll CC to my administrative assistant. So they'll know when they get it, they would forward it to the parent, unless you want to look up the parent's email and send it to them directly. This one issue blank. All that else sounds fine. Hit next. Now, hit it on form trigger. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna play with this because you can do it as form trigger, which our merge condition, our trigger is that column gets some information in it. Time trigger, that means that watch this. So if I did a time trigger, it would run every hour, 24 hours, once a day, whatever. So you could do those as well. I'm going to say no. We're going to run on the form trigger and let's see if this works. If not, we'll go to a time trigger and that'll work. Or you can run it manually, which I showed you in the last video. You just go in, you hit this play button, and you can run them whenever you want. So you could do 3 or 4 of these in the day. At the end of the day, you do this. I like it to be automated so I don't have to think about it because you don't want to send the discipline stuff like 2 days later. Okay, done. So now we're going to fill it out again. Student name, we'll call it Draco Malfoy. Never got in trouble. We'll say he's in 10th grade. Date of the incident. He was in 3rd period. Teacher Still, let's add this teacher name. Let's make it my buddy Matt. Okay. Behavior, academic dishonesty, bus infraction, and disrespectful. Okay. And then I should have deleted the positive one. Verbal, refer to the office, first, second, third offense. Okay. Describe the incidents. Draco attacked another. So I was going to say Harry Potter, but you can't write another student's name in there. Attacked another student. He was super rude, and I don't think he'll, he was at the end of the book, so I was going to make a joke, but it wouldn't have been funny. He was super rude. I don't think he'll have, a future at Hogwarts, even though I called this Tarver Academy, if he keeps this up. Okay. And submit, and it should not send my email. Okay. And there is a way to check. So yes, there is a way to check. Okay. So let's check and make sure. Scroll over to the right. These are this right here, you notice like, oh, Tyler, you didn't create those headings. You're right. I did not. You know what we should do? We should do all these as wrap text. There we go. This way you're going to be able to read what the teacher puts in there. It's going to be easier on you. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it generates these right here. Don't mess with those. Remember, that's where we showed in the last video where the link to what it's creating, it goes. So don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that little guy. Okay. Cool. So it has not generated, which is exactly what we wanted. I don't want it to generate. I'm sorry. The colors make me, this bothers me. I have to do this. I'm sorry. Okay. So what you would do is the student would come in. You'd be like, okay, let me look at what your teacher said. You'd read the teacher name, what they did. You'd read the description of the incident. You would see all that stuff. Okay. That's all good information. And I'm going to make this, because it feels like too much. There we go. Okay. Then what I would do is I would go and say number of days of discipline. You would do 3 days. Date to begin. I'd say, Monday, April 29th. What is that? Say Wednesday. I'm sorry. I don't even know why I'm making this a big deal. Thursday, April 29th. 21. And then I'll just copy that. And then you could do like a drop down. Look at this. So once you put a date in there, and you could do that. Let's just say it's 3 days. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then disciplinary action taken by administration, I would say ISS. And you can do a drop down for these. These all could be Google Sheets stuff. You're not coming to my Google Sheets thing. You should. Okay. Now let's see if it generates based on that. It might not. You might have to go in and hit play, or you could set it up on that timer. Remember where we looked at that? You could set it up on timer. I'm just going to go into Autocrat and I'm going to launch it, and I'm going to show you how to hit play. So we're going to get a chance to see what it looks like. I would probably set it on the timer. I think I would have it run like, every hour or once a day or whatever, but we don't have time for that. I'll show you how to get there. So you go to the last one. So you click in the edit, you go all the way to the end, run on time trigger, and you would just set it up to where it runs, every hour. Hit save. And I doubt it's going to send it immediately. I don't know what the hour is. I've never done the time one, but I know it exists. So I'm going to hit play, and that's just going to run it for me. That's going to run all of mine. It'll tell you exactly how many it's going to run. Sometimes I'll have a bunch backed up, and I'll run 80, and it'll tell me 80 rows will be merged. So merge just means that it's creating it. It's merging it into a document. Okay. Cool. Okay. So first off, I don't like this. I don't need that link to be so crazy. There we go. Okay. So it generated it. I should have gotten an email. Let's go back in here. hit refresh. This one issued, Draco Malfoy. And let's see if it filled in all of the stuff we wanted it to. Your child Draco Malfoy was assigned access for a period of 3 days. Haha, I did it. Student was referred by Baxley on blank for his or her behavior. Draco Malfoy will begin his or her punishment on that date and will end on that date. I think we did it. Okay, looks like there's a period thing. I'd probably fix that. But for the most part, I think we did a pretty good job of creating that. So thank you guys for watching and learning with us. And I think that we have some more stuff to talk about, which we will. Thank you so much. Y'all be good. Stay sweet. Never stop learning. See you in a minute. I don't know. I'm not good at signing out. I'll see you guys in a second. Later. What up? Welcome back. Hey, Tyler here. How are you doing? How are you feeling? In the chat, let's do emoji check. And how are you feeling right now? Have you learned? Oh, no. To this point, what is something that you are going to try in your classroom or implement that you might not have wanted to, an hour or two ago? What is something you're wanting to implement in your classroom? Put that in the chat right now. I'd love to see it. I know the other people in the chat would love to see it. I know it'd be some great input. So throw that in the chat and then you can also copy paste and put in your notes just so you don't forget. Make sure everything you're doing, you're keeping notes of. Keep links to it, all of it, because I want you guys to be able to access and actually make your classroom better. I've sat through enough PDs in my life, professional development in my life, that I don't remember one thing from. I pray that you walk through this. I am hoping that you get something out of this training that you can take and use, once a day, once a week, once a year, once a decade, something that you use and implement, whether it's a mindset or a skill set or just any type of framework to build your classroom and make things better. Okay? Speaking of making things better, making ourselves better, I do want to give you, some thoughts on something that I offer, a community that we have at Tarver Academy that I think could add you a ton of value. It could help you get better all year. Because right now we're getting better with PD, with professional development. Hopefully you're getting better right now. This summer you're gonna hopefully glean some information, some knowledge, some experience, and you're gonna get a little bit better. I want us to get better all year. I want us to get better all throughout the year. And here's the thing with teachers. We do not have time to go sit through a 6-hour professional development once a week. So what I did was I created a community called Tarver Academy. And it was based on teachers telling me they wanted resources. They wanted a continuation of these trainings, of templates, of resources. They wanted to be handed to them, because if you go out and search for it, you're gonna find random stuff. They wanted stuff that could be applied to their classroom, that they can sit there, bite-sized professional development for busy teachers. That's Tarver Academy on a roll. And I would love for you to join if you want to. If you don't have to, don't pay for it. It's not very expensive at all, but I don't want you to have to pay for it. I would rather you use your district's professional development money. So if you want, have them go in, order that for you. Hey, here's the deal. Okay, let me be real with you. So you are signed up for the premium summer PD. Okay, either you signed up for it yourself, your principal, your administrator signed you up for it, or your district or your co-op. There were some amazing co-ops, districts that jumped in and realized that this could add value and flexibility, because they're offering 3 different sessions throughout the summer. You have flexibility to watch from home, or maybe you're watching with a group, maybe you're watching in your classroom, wherever you're watching from. They wanted you to add that value, and I wanted to give you a huge discount on the Tarver Academy Honor Roll. This is just for this summer, and it's just for the people that are on the premium watches, okay? And so the premium watches, the premium PD, okay? And so if you're watching this, you're here, you're on it, okay? So what you can do is you can sign up at tarveracademy.com/honor roll, and I want you to use this promo code. When you sign up, use this promo code. It's gonna cut in half. And it's one time for the full year, and it's gonna cut in half. Remember, use your district money if you can. So just write the promo code down, or put it in there and then get reimbursed, whatever you need to do. The promo code is premium, because you've signed up for the premium summer PD, and so I want to give you half off. So what that is essentially, you or your district or your co-op or your building paid for the summer PD, and so what it is you get half off for these honor roll resources that come to you every week for the entire year. They essentially, it paid for more than, it paid for half of this just because they signed you up for it, or you signed up for it. So it's actually a better deal than if you just straight up bought it. But you'll get access to these trainings anytime you want throughout the entire year, plus anything new. I'm gonna send you something every single week to help make you better in your classroom, because when you get better, your students get better. In the email, every week, you're gonna get either a template, a resource, you're gonna get a short PD video, professional development, a training to show you how to do something you might not know how to do, or reinforce something you're maybe already trying. You're gonna get something that makes you better every week, plus some quick tips, links to some other things, and also you can ask me questions. I have a mailbag where you get to ask questions, and that's the list I'm gonna pick from first. I wanna help you guys. If I don't know how to do it, I'll do the research for you. I'll build, you're like, oh, I really wish I had a digital interactive notebook. Guess what I'll do? I'll go in and I'll build digital interactive notebooks, and I'll give you the template. You don't have to pay teachers. You don't have to go in and throw the money at anything. I wanna just hand it to you, and I wanna do trainings for you to help you. So if you wanna join that community, I think it's super helpful, and it's essentially where I become the tech facilitator for you. It's Netflix for teacher resources, and I would love for you to join and jump on that. So if you want, go there. It's tarveracademy.com/honor-roll, and you can sign up for that. And I think it's just going to be a huge. It's going to be a huge help to teachers throughout the year who have a lot going on and not a lot of time, extra time to go out and do it. It's like as teachers, they always give you more stuff to do, but they don't give you like, oh, here's like an extra 3 hours a day to go out and do whatever it is you're gonna do. So if you wanna sign up for that, you can. I hope you've used this time also to use the restroom. So if you're just getting back using the restroom, guess what? We've just been talking about Tarver Academy Honor Roll. No big deal. But I wanna give you guys time to go do that and get a snack if you need it. Whatever you need to do, we're about to kick back into, we're about to jump back in it. We're gonna fall into the gap. Man, do y'all remember that? That was a good campaign. That was memorable. Wasn't it memorable? Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're about to get started. We'll get started here very soon, and we're gonna jump back in, we're gonna keep learning. All right, let's do it. Let's go. We're still doing this. In the chat, here we go. In the chat, I want you to tell me the name. Okay, don't say that. I was gonna say, tell me the name of, you know what? You can do that. Tell me the name of a teacher who made an impact on you and what they did. Why did they have an impact on you? In the chat, what name of a teacher or an educator that had an impact on you and what they did to have an impact. It was either the way they treated you, the way they ran their class, or the way they inspired you, or just the way they had structure maybe. They were reliable, they were consistent. I would love to hear in the chat, name of a teacher that motivated you as a student or as another teacher and what they did. So let's throw that in the chat, and we're about to get started. We're gonna jump back into it. We're about to get started. We're gonna jump back into it like a pogo stick. See that? See what I did there? Nope? Okay, all right, let's get going. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Autocrat training. Yeah, it's a big one. It's fun. I know we're having a blast, and you guys are hopefully making some great stuff that will carry over into your daily life and make your life easier and better, and save you time. That's my goal, save you time. Okay, so I've used Autocrat for a lot of things in the past. You know, we've automated schedules out of it. One of the things I haven't mentioned that we autocrated is because Autocrat can build into a Google Doc, which we've done. It can build into a PDF. It can build into a sheet. It can also build into slides. So one thing that we did at our elementary school, I'm just giving you ideas for what you can do. I'm going to show you a couple things here in a second, but I really want to give you these ideas. It also builds into Google Slides. And I don't know if we did this with slides or with docs. You could do it with either. We did at our elementary, we would do like this end of year award ceremony. And what the teachers would do is they would email the administrative assistant and they would say, hey, this kid got most improved, this kid got highest grade, which are the only 2 awards that we ever brag about. And so every school's like that. And so then they would go in and they would put the names in, the teacher's name, and make the certificates. What we did was we then had it to where they would go in and they would put their name in to the Google form. They would select either like highest grade, most improved, whatever the title was, most friendliest, and they put the student's name. And then we had it to where it auto-filled into a Google Doc, and then all our administrative assistant had to do was hit print. And so it saved a ton of time in printing those certificates because we could just create that. Now, I don't think we're going to do that today because I want to show you some of the higher level stuff that you can do. We've kind of worked our way up. And this one is a breakdown. And if we have time, this is what I'm going to go for. I want to show you how we built it into professional development. So that's one. And then talk through how we did it in, let's see, we might have time for the certificates. I might show you the job interview one and talk through that. This one's not going to be where I do like a work session. And I know a lot of this sounds, it could be for maybe just for administrators, but I think as a teacher, it wouldn't hurt to go through it. But if you can say, you know, I will never use this, I don't think I could learn this to help my principal, which I think you should learn this, and then you can help your principal. But also I want to give you this time to work and play around with the discipline stuff or the truancy or the check-in, anything that you can use. I want you to make this time practical. So I'm going to go through these, but if you want to use this time to listen to me on the side and just kind of like hear it, and then you want to work on that, you can. I'm not watching you right now, so you have the freedom to do that. I just wouldn't check out because we are going to talk through some stuff and some processes that you might be like, oh, I don't need that for professional development, but maybe I could use that for, you know, parent contact or for my student council or whatever it is. You can adapt it and use it around that. So I'm going to show you, this is from one of the presentations I do on being a 21st century administrator. Let's make me small and make this larger. Okay. So whenever I was at central office, I was director of curriculum instruction and some other stuff. And one of the problems we ran into, I guess I can make myself, there we go. Hey guys, welcome back. One of the problems we ran into with summer professional development was I was in charge of signing off on all the PD. Well, how the school year works, we're busy, we're trying to get grades in, we got so much stuff that's important. And then at the end of the year, the teacher would come in and do like an exit interview with the principals. They would sit down, they would, you know, hand them keys if they needed to hand them. They would show that they'd have like a checklist of stuff they did. And I did this when I was a teacher, and I did this as a principal. And then when I was central office, it was still happening. And the teachers would hand over this like paper where they'd fill in all the summer PD they were planning on doing. And they would hand it over to the principal. Now, one of the issues there was that they would hand that paper over to the principal, and the principal is doing these exit interviews for like a full week or two. And then by the time they get it, and then they go through and they check off and make sure everything looks good to them, then they bring them to central office. And then I'm going through, you know, 150 of these, you know, teacher PD requests. And I'm trying to check off, like, because they need 6 hours in tech. They need 6 hours in, you know, classroom management. They need 6 hours in this. And certain teachers had different PGPs that they need to attach. So it's like we are doing three parts of the process. The teacher picks what they want. The administrator picks what they're okay with, and I'm supposed to go through and check on it. Now, here's the deal. If at the point of the process where I'm going through it and I'm checking through all of these, sometimes I would see an issue, or I would see something that the teacher needed to change or adjust, or like, I'm like, they don't need those hours. They have to get these hours. The problem is it's maybe like mid-June by this point because of the process. And maybe they've already gone to a couple sessions they don't need. And then I have to figure out, like, well, what do I have to do? What's the state requirements versus what they want to do, versus what they need? And so it just added length to a process that could have been streamlined. And I want to walk you through not how to create it, because we've done that, but I want to walk you through the process of how we did professional development sign off my couple of years I was in charge of that. And I think it worked really well. I didn't have any complaints. You know, training the teachers to comment and, you know, reply and fix things. That was a little bit of a transition for some teachers, but we figured it out, and it's helping them learn. You know, that's one of the things I always preach is put into practice, like make the teachers the students, put that into practice so that they are viewing it from the student perspective. So then whenever they are the teacher, they can add those features in because they feel comfortable with them. So let's take a look. I tried to line this out as clear as possible. And so first off, I did a Google form where I asked their opinion. I would just say, hey, I did the survey, and I was like, what do you want to learn about? What do you want to, let me make it, now I can change this. There we go. What do you want to learn about? What do you want to grow in? What do you want to get better at? And so we'd go in, and this is a copy for you if you're an administrator. I was like, what do you want to learn about? And this helped us decide, what do we need to offer in the summer? And then also I can know, like, okay, they want to get them all done in June, or, you know, June's heavy because of this, so we want to do that in July. You know, where do you want it? And so we tried to space it out, focus on which domains. We use tests here in Arkansas, at Charlotte Danielson model for administrators to evaluate teachers. Which one of the 4 domains do you want to focus on? What was something we want to reflect? Would you like from last summer? And then what offerings would you want to see? So we're getting feedback from the teachers, which I think is super important. There's some stuff you have to offer. You're like, we have to do this. It's a new program, or this is a state requirement, or we need to do this. So there's not a lot of leeway in some of that, but we tried to listen to our teachers. And this gave us, could we offer everything? Like, oh, I said I need a Moby Max training, but nobody put that on there. Yeah, because there were 2 Moby Max and 20 Google Forms. So it's like, we're trying to do what can impact the most teachers with the money we have in our PD budget. And so this is a great way to get an idea before you would roll into that. And I've actually used this now with my summer PD stuff. So if you're in the free session, you see this, and then you see the other version of it if you're in the premium sessions for my summer PD. And this is like how we offered all of it. And I tried to color code it. And so it's like, science was one color, math was yellow, literacy was blue. Like I tried to color code it. See, there you go. There's my color coding key. Let me do this so you can see it a little better. This is the actual, and then it would all link. We use ESC, ESC works. And so we would link to all of those on the ESC. So it made it easy for them to sign up for it. Because if not, it's like a PDF and you're like emailing it, and then the teacher has to go search it, and then they're finding it. It's just, this kind of cut out the hassle. They knew this was like the hub for their summer PD. And then I would do links to like, if they wanted to do a flex day, the requirements for their teaching. Like I tried to make it, and I put these all in Google Docs and shared it with them. So I tried to make it as simple as possible, just like I did for this summer PD, to where they could go in and click on it. So this is how we did it. So I'm just showing you the process. I got their opinions. Then once I built it, I offered it very clearly. I tried to, as clear as possible. Then this is where Autocrat kicks in. So what we would do is we would do a, let me see, click on this. I don't have access to this anymore. I'm sorry, it's my dog. Let's chill. Okay. And so I would go in and I would make a copy for them. You can have this copy. I'll put this in the template folder so you have access to it. And if not, hit me up. There's my buddy Break Bill. He hated it when I did this. He was one of my teachers. He never smiled, so I found a photo of him smiling, and I put it as my header for Google Forms. So put that on everything. They would go in and they would select what building they were in, and then they would put the principal's email address. This, remember, through Autocrat, we want it to automatically email. And so what I would do is I would have it to where they're selecting not the name, the email address. And that way I had this email address fill in, and it would only email the principal that they needed to see it. Okay. So what they're doing with this form is the teachers were able to select which PD they wanted to take this summer. And so they would go in and they would select, oh, I want to pick, I'll take this, 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 and this. And so it was very much like I'm filling out the Google form, I'm filling out the information. The reason for this is instead of handing them a piece of paper that they write in by hand, this is going to generate into a Google sheet that then we all have access to and we can look at. So I want to share it with me. Every single one was shared with me. So I just put my email into the Autocrat. I had it automatically gathered their email address. So it sent it to the teacher. And then I needed it to go to the principal as well. And so I would put all the principal's emails there, and then it would select the principal and it would email them as well. So it would go to all three of us, the teacher, the principal, and me at the same time, as opposed to the teacher fills it out, hands it to the principal, hands it to me. It's not this process. It's everybody sees it. We're all looking at it. We're all checking it out. Okay. That was the first section. They would fill out that information, and then we'd roll into this information. Now, granted, I put all these questions in here so that they could fill into my email and my document that I wanted to create. Where are you doing it? I put some common locations, but I added other, that's our co-op. That was us. Title of the PD, they would write it in there. You could do a drop down if you're only offering a certain amount of PD. You could do a drop down like I did for this summer PD, where you're doing your evaluation stuff or you're doing your check-in. You can do this. And here we go. Hours, number 1. Okay, this is the amount of hours you'll get. This allows me to tally up, and I'll show you this whenever we get through there. So would you like to put another PD day? And then so they start, like I'm going to show you what it looks like, okay? I'm showing you the back end of that. So I'm going to show you this. So email, first and last name. How did I pop that? Why did I keep using him? Sorry. Building, I pick a principal, and then I would hit next. So it's one page at a time. I try to keep it very simple. It goes to this page. they'd fill in the form. They would say auto, whatever it was, Autocrat training. They would do location. You could say, Tarver Academy. Then you do the dates. Let's see, single day example. So this would be like, and I could have made this a calendar if I wanted. The reason I didn't make it a calendar in Google Forms is because a lot of these PDs are multiple days. And I didn't want it to be just like, oh, I'm doing this one day. And then, it's a 3-day conference. So I have to like infer that. So let's say May. No, that's not right. Let's do, I don't know, that bothers me. Let's do my birthday, June 15th. Okay. And it's going to be a 6-hour, which is 3. We'll do 3-hour. And then here's one of the things that I added in. You can think through this as you do Google Forms. I made those pages where it moves along. Now, I put in 10 different PD days that they could have chosen, okay? They don't need all of that. There's 4 days that they're required. That's back to school week. And then there were really 6 days they're picking, okay, unless they did like 3 hours here and there. So I didn't need more than 10. I knew that was plenty. So I did 10 pages, but I didn't want them to go through and click through all those pages. I just want them to go through and pick the ones they need and then skip to the end. So what we did was I added this option. Would you like to put in another PD day? And they would say yes or no. If they said yes, they get this same exact page again. Okay. If they said no, then what they would do is they would skip to the last page, which I'll show you here. So see, I did like 10 of these PD day options. And then at whichever day, it was day 1 or day 7 or day 10, as soon as they said, no, I'm done, it would skip to, where is it? Oh, man, where's my section? It was like, do you sign off on this? I don't see it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, man. I guess that section, maybe it just submitted it. So whenever, so it did. See, you can see in what I said, no, I'm ready to submit the form. So I didn't have an exit. Sometimes you put it at the end to be like, okay, how easy was this or whatever? Or, hey, are you sure you want to submit? I did it to where, and whatever day they were done, like, okay, I did 3 days, I need to submit this. When they said, no, I'm ready to submit, it would submit the form automatically. So I just bypassed that. So just a way to think through as you are creating these resources, okay? So they would fill out that form, and then when they got done, as soon as they hit send, Autocrat took over, and it would build it. So what it did, it was to create this. And here's an example of what it would create. Look, I've been using Harry Potter for years. Look at that as an option. So what it would do is it would fill in through to a Google Sheet. I know we've only done docs so far, but it would fill into a Google Sheet. It would put the teacher's name right here. And so I made the logo. I did all this stuff beforehand. It would fill in right here, and it would put, this was all there. It would fill in this. So this would be the 2 brackets, and it would say like teacher name. I had a selection on there for the building that you work in. So it would fill in the building you work in. And that was the school year that we did this. Then what it would do is I had this one, like on the template, I had this, I had this one right here built in because they all have to go to our back to school days. So I would automatically put the back to school days. I would do the location. I put the dates in, and then I put the amount of hours in. So the reason I use Google Sheets instead of Docs here is because I wanted this to tally up the amount of hours that we were taking. And so I could do this. All I did was I made the brackets, and for each of those days, I went all the way here. Now, you're thinking to yourself, well, Tyler, you said you had 10 options for them to put in days, but here they only put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Whenever you have Autocrat and you have the brackets and something is not, like if that's blank, it fills it in blank. So there was an option here, 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 and here for it to get more days. But since they didn't put in the days past those 6, it just made them blank because in those cells in my Google Sheet, those were blank, okay? Now, they would put in the hours in the sheet. It would fill in the dates. All of this stuff was filled in as they would complete this Google form, okay? Then it would tally up. I had a formula set up here to where it added all these up, put it right here. So anytime we adjust those hours, that number goes up or down based on the amount of hours. Here's what I love about this. It sent this. Let me show. I think I've got an example of the email. Here it is right here. So this is the email it would send. So as soon as they hit submit, it sent an email to them, the principal, and me. And it said, great job. If you need to make any changes, just make a comment in the attached sheet on what you'd like to change and what you want the new session to be. You can notify your principal of the comment by using the @ symbol. So I gave them the instructions that whenever you make a comment, let me see if I can insert a comment here. Yeah. And you can have the @ symbol. It'll bring up that email. And here's the cool thing. Whenever they do this and they assign it, whenever we make these comments, we can have the full conversation, not in a stream of 30 emails that I'm going back and I'm trying to find and I'm looking for. What it would do is it would take that, like, it would take that part of the Google Sheet. It would send a new email to either the principal or the teacher or both. It would send an email with a link to the docs. They don't have to go search their drive for it. We had the entire conversation through those comments. We would have a stream of these comments where we're discussing what PD I want them to take. So I would go in and I would make the comment and I would tag the teacher and I would say, hey, you don't need these 6 hours. There we go. You don't need these 6 hours. Adjust it. So like, here's an example. I would go right click, comment, @ symbol, let's just tag myself. And I would say, you don't need this. Add a tech day instead. Actually, I'm going to do it. I'm going to tag this one so you guys can see what it looks like. Tyler at Tarver Academy. Okay. You don't need this. Add a tech day instead. 2 options are, oh, that's not how you spell that. 2 options are, why did I make that face? I'm sorry. Let's say 2 options are Google Forms and Ultimate Google Training, which I'm doing this summer. What's up? Ultimate Google Training. Sign. Okay, and I hit assign. This, see, I'll add people to discussion, send an email. I assign it to them. They'll get notified and they're responsible for marking is done. So it's like here, I don't have to do it. It'll still send an email. I always do mark as assigned because I want them to complete it. I want to make sure they see it and they understand it. And so what we would do is I would tag the teacher. So I'll hit assign. I would tag the teacher on there. They would get the email and then we would have the conversation in this. We keep it all in the hub of this document. It allowed us to streamline this. Now, when I was okay with it, so I would automatically fill in the teacher's signature. I did it to where it filled in their signature automatically because when they hit submit, it signs it for them because they're the one that fills it out. So why would they not approve of it? They're the ones that picked it out. Then I would have it to where this was blank and this was blank, this right here. So I was blank and the principal was blank. After I looked over it and I checked on it, I would go in and type my name. Like, I'm good with all this. I would type in Tyler Tarver. And then the principal, whenever they look at it, they type it in and say, okay, Ann Webb, I'm good to go. Here's one of the issues that some of the principals brought up. They said, well, what if a teacher goes in and signs our names? Well, then we could go in, and I'm not the owner of this, so I can't see it, but you can go in and see, let me find, here we go. See this right here? This is on every doc, sheet, and slide. This is called, that used to be called version history. I think it's still called version history. Actually, I think they used to call it revision history. I don't know if that's correct or not. But you can see who typed what on what day. So I've only one that's been in this document, but if other people had been in here editing, you would see their name and what they edited. Okay? So you can see who made what edits when. So if we didn't sign off on it and they're like, oh, you signed off on it, we can go see, hey, Harry Potter, you signed my name on this document. We have a real issue here. You just pretended to be me. That's identity theft, Jim. And so I think that this is a streamlined way. And those concerns, like, one, if you've got a teacher that's signing off on their PD as you, as the principal, as the director, you've got a big issue on your hand, and you need to address that. So they would fill it in. It would fill in the numbers. Anytime we change the numbers, this would change, and we needed to make sure the total was 60 for the summer because our teachers needed 60 PD hours. Okay? Cool. So there we go. That's how we'd have those conversations. I'll show you what the email looked like. Anytime you tag somebody in the email, they would get, or tag somebody in the document, they would get an email. It looked like, oh, no, that's Leanne. Where's the tag? Where's the tag? I don't see the tag. I don't know why it's not tagging immediately. It does tag. I promise I didn't make that up. but it would send an email and tag those people in that. And then we would just have the conversation through there. They can do it directly from the email, or they can go back into this. Google makes it super easy to do that in either location. Okay, cool. So that's how we do this. If I needed to, I would print it off. I just go to File, File and Print, or download as a PDF once it was finished, and that way we're good to go. Okay, sweet. What up, Tyler again? Wow, how you guys feeling? Y'all good? You good? Are you good? Okay, in the chat, this is what I want you to do. In the chat right now, I want you to tell me what was your college major. And if you're still in college, you want to be a teacher, or you're just here to learn and grow, I want you to tell me in the chat, what was your major in college? Okay, tell me what was your major in college. And then what do you actually teach now? Are they related? You don't have to. Just tell me where you went to college. I'd love to see. Throw it in there. We're going to say, if you see somebody that has the same one, reply to them, give them some knuckle bumps or high fives or thumbs up or peace signs, whatever it is, smiley face. That's my best emoji, smiley face. Like that. Toss that in the chat, and let's just talk about where we went to college. And the reason I'm bringing that up is I'm actually the dean of a college. It's called NLC College. It is a partnership with Arkansas Baptist College and New Life Church. It's where we use the New Life Church facilities, and students can come and get an actual degree, associate's or bachelor's degree in business administration or Christian education. They can get those degrees from Arkansas Baptist College, located at NLC, so we call it NLC College. So if you know any students that are interested in maybe attending, if you'd like to hear more about it, hit me up. I'm gonna leave the link on there to the website. Also, the Instagram handle going to be on there if you want to check it out. Follow us on Instagram at NLC College. But I can tell you about it, but I'd love for my students to tell you about it. So here are some thoughts about NLC College, which I love and I'm a part of. I'm a dean of NLC College, so of course I love it. I wouldn't be there. So if you want to check it out, let's see what they have to say. I'm going to be low key, for real. These are some of the best students on the planet. These young people, they're straight up, they're world changers. I mean that. And I care a lot about them, and I think they're fantastic. And I'd love for you to hear from them about the school that they attend, NLC College.
I go to NLC College, and two things that I miss about it there are the people whom I miss and I love very much, and the intramural sports, specifically volleyball.
Okay, so if you don't know this, I go to NLC College, and my number one favorite thing about the school is the community. I've met some of my best friends there that I have for life, and my second favorite thing is serving at events with the school and putting on preview day.
What's up, guys? Something I love about NLC College is all the free coffee and coffee mugs that they give you.
Hey guys, I just finished my first year at NLC College, and there's two things that I really, really miss. One being just the family aspect of the school, and two, chapel. I miss worshiping with my friends.
What's up, everyone? I want to get on here real quick and tell you all about why my college, NLC College, is the best school ever for two reasons in particular. One, the community I've been able to be a part of, and two, the opportunities that have opened up for me since I've been going to school there.
Y'all, I just finished my first year at NLC College, and it was absolutely incredible. I already miss our weekly leadership development classes and just getting to be up at the church all day, every day.
Hello. I go to NLC College. I love it because JK, I do go to NLC College, but two things that I love about it is one, you're always held accountable, and two, everyone in the community pushes you to be the absolute best you can be.
What's up, New Life Church and NLC College? Something that I love about my college that I go to is how we have a community of people who are all like-minded with the same goal, and how they've given me the tools to grow and develop myself as well as my business. Shameless plug.
Guys, I just want to hop on here and talk about my school. I'm sad that it's my last year at NLC College, but I'm thankful for everything that I've learned, like how to live life right and by the Bible, and definitely I love Dr. Q's jokes.
What is up, guys? So if you didn't know, I just finished my first year at New Life Church College, and by far my favorite things about it are one, the community of people people that you're surrounded by, and 2, all the free time you get to do the things you're passionate about and just to hang out with all of your best friends all the time.
So one thing that I love about New Life College is that it didn't slow me down from doing what I wanted to do with my life, which was music. It actually supported me. New Life College feels less like a school, more like a family to me. So yeah, that's one of the main things I love about the school.
Hey guys, I'm here to share 2 fantastic things about NLC College. So one is the community that you get when you go to NLC College, and then how caring the professors are about you and your grade.
Hey, what up everybody? I wanted to let you know a little bit about NLC College, the school I go to. I'm gonna tag them here so you can go to their page. But 1, if you're even thinking about going there, please sign up for housing. It's such an amazing experience. And 2, the community there is like none other. They're all...
Things I like about NLC College is Tyler Tarver, he's the best. And number 2 is that it's affordable. So, cause you know, I'm gonna be broke. And, or I am broke. But that don't make me too broke, you feel me?
Okay, hey guys, I go to NLC College, and the number 1 favorite thing I love about that school is the community. I made friends there that I'll have for life. I'm zooming in. Why?
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to show you another one. This one we did the same thing. And I'm showing you ideas now. So another one we did, whenever I became the director, I noticed that everybody was doing lesson plans, but it was really just like they're taking the old lesson plans and they're copy pasting, or they're changing the date and they're resubmitting, you know, a Word document or whatever it was. I wanted them to have something they could actually get better at and improve every year. So as soon as I took over, I think I took over in August. And the first thing I did was like, okay, we're not doing lesson plans the way we used to. You're not emailing it to the principal. So what I did, this was actually the first big Autocrat project that I undertook, and I didn't understand what I was doing. And so it was here, I'll tell you where I messed up. At the first, there were no tutorials on Autocrat back whenever I tried. It was like 2016, I think. With the brackets, actually it was 2015, doesn't matter. There were the brackets. And I did not know to put the question, like the title of that column there. What I was putting was a number. So I put like number 1, number 2, number 3, and I numbered all of them. And then I literally had to go in and like guess the tags and then like look at the result and then go back and reattach. It was insane. I don't know what I missed in the process, but this is hopefully the way I've explained it is a lot less confusing. But nonetheless, I got it figured out. And so what we did was I sent a Google form to all of my teachers. And I said, and we had 3 different lesson plans that we're doing at the 3 main buildings. The 4th one had it set up digitally. But those 3 buildings, I was like, so I had to create up 3 different forms and 3 different Autocrats and 3 different things. So what I did was I had a blank version of this that looked like this. Let me make a copy. And I've got this on tarveracademy.com/resources. Okay. Go into this. This was blank. I would use this as the template. So they're filling it out in a Google form based on what their principal wanted. And I literally had Monday was 1 page. They'd fill out all this stuff for Monday. They go to the next page, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so what they would do, and they would select the week number. And what they would do is it would generate every week. It would generate the email and automatically email their principal. And so they're filling out, some of them didn't like it. They're filling out the Google form. I'm like, hey, this is just for 1 year, because next year we're going to actually build a curriculum map out of it. And so for 1 year, they filled out the forms every week, ideally, and it would send to them and it would send to the principal. Okay. So it automatically send those and it would fill in all of the dates and it made it look more uniform. Then they would take that, and in the summer, we did 2 PD days back to back for each grade level or subject area, where they would get to meet with their team, and they would essentially take all these like 1-pagers, and then they're just copy pasting them into weeks 1 through 18 for the whole year. And so they're essentially building a 1-page, like a 1 Google Sheet document. I'm sorry, I'm saying that weird. 1 Google Sheet with multiple tabs, 1 for each week of the year, and they're copy pasting it into there. We did all of that through Google Forms, use Autocrat, build it in there, and then all they're doing is copy pasting. Okay. And the reason is because I didn't have it. I don't think you can do this where you have multiple tabs and it fills into that 1 document. It creates a new document based on your template and then emails it. And we made it easy enough to where they're literally just like copy pasting. I say easy enough. Ideally, it's easy enough if they understand what I'm asking them to do. Okay. All right. So that was how we did those curriculum apps, and you can as well. So I want to talk through the most extensive Autocrat that I ever created. And if you have any thoughts, throw them in the chat of how you can use this, not only for this, but for anything else. So we used a company called Talent Ed for our interview process. They would fill it out. It would go into the system. They would email me and other, administrators. And then we could look through and see these, their resumes and all their information. Well, we were trying to save money. We're like, hey, let's save some money this year. My superintendent was like, can you create something in Google Forms? I was like, yeah, I'll figure it out. So I created I'm going to walk through the process, but we took a program, which is a great program. So if Talent Ed's watching, sorry about this. They're a great program, but we were able to make it for free using Google Forms and Autocrat. And so we did is for any current openings, we just had a Google Doc. And they would go in and they could click on it and they could go see all the openings. We could put our policy on here if we wanted. We could link to fill out the application. We could do all this. This would go to the job descriptions and this would go to fill out the application. So we just kept updating this one document anytime. And then we just linked to that document from our website. It was easier for me, to go in and edit the links on the document that we're always changing as opposed to going into the back end of our website and always doing that. And here's the thing with most people who are in charge of hiring HR people for a district, they're not in charge of the website. So anytime they would want to add or adjust or change a job posting or a job description or whatever it was, they're having to send the request in to the website person. We tried to streamline it. I could edit the website. Look at me. I'm so fancy. I could edit the website, but not everybody can. And so that was just a way for us to offer those openings. And then they would fill it out. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. I think they're still using the Google form. I haven't been there in 4 years, but I'm pretty sure they're still using the same process, which means that the Autocrat still works and all of it's still set up. Let's see if we click on here, we should go to a Google form. And it looks like we did. And this is their job application form. They'd fill this out. It's 13 pages, and they would just go page to page. And they're filling it out. Okay? Now, they would apply. That's the Google form. Then it would go into this form template. I don't have access to that anymore, but we would have a template where I literally built the resume. Come on, give me access. Let me switch, see if I have access from my other email account. If not, it's fine. You understand the process of this, and I'll show you the outcome. I do have access to that, I know for sure. Oh my goodness. Okay, don't hack my account, please. Let's see if, nope, I don't have access. Okay, so these were the templates. This was the template for the resume. This is template for the Google form, all of that. It would go through this. Then here's where it got tricky. Okay, so we built the Google form, and it's just like we've talked about through this whole training. We would have a multi-page form that would go into a Google sheet, and then that sheet, as soon as it was sent, would fill into a resume that everybody's resume looked the same. They would fill in their information, and it would send to me, the superintendent, and all of the principals. And I didn't select it to where like the PD, went to specific principals. This one I had to go to all the administrators because we didn't have, we'd have, a couple hundred applicants a year, 200 or 300 applicants a year, depending on the job. And it wasn't super unmanageable. And here's the thing I always found. There might be somebody that applies for like a middle school English position, and they might not be the right fit, or they might not have the opening or whatever it was. I guess it would be on there if they didn't have the opening. They might not be the right fit for the middle school, but maybe there's like a 9th grade English teacher they need, or an elementary 5th grade English teacher they need, and that person's certified in those. That principal sees it. I just think it's good to be transparent with your principals, your administrators, because you never know when somebody applies for something if they're going to be even better for a different job at a different building. And so that's why I would do that, and I would include in the email like some specific information, like their certification and stuff, so that principals could quickly discern, oh, this person's not even certified to be in my building, and they could just mark it as red or delete it or whatever they wanted to do. Okay, so it fills out through there. Now, here was the tricky part. We had to figure out how to do references, how to submit references through, I'm making a copy of this, how to submit the references to the people, to get references on these people and send it back to us. So we had to do more Autocrats. So what I did was whenever they selected, so remember how earlier how you have to name your autocrats? You can actually create multiple autocrats. So I had an autocrat that would generate their resume and their application. Then I had another autocrat for references. So whenever somebody submitted they filled out the entire Google form, it would email, it would email us, the administrators, with their resume and all their application. Then whenever they put in the email addresses of their references, it would send out, and they put 4 references, it would send out 4 different emails and I just put them all in the same. I created a new job, a new merge, new job called, references. And then I put them as BCC. That way they couldn't see each other's emails. It would send 4 separate emails to these people, and it would have a link to this. It would have a link to this other new Google form where they would fill out the applicant's name, their position, how they know them, how would you rank them based on all this stuff. I try to make it as easy as possible because I've had to fill these out, and I don't want to fill out somebody filling out a reference. You don't want to spend 30 minutes filling out a reference. So I try to make it easy, just like click, 1 to 10, bam, 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 and then any notes. I didn't have it to where they had to type much at all. Literally, they typed where they're from and then any other comments they wanted. Okay, so they fill out the Google form to apply for the job. It sends us their application. Then it sends 4 of these links to this Google form to all of those people, all their 4 references. So 4 different emails to them. Then I had to create an autocrat for this form that whenever the reference, me as the reference, fills it out, it sends it back to me, the director of HR. So I'm getting that email from all these people. Now this one got kind of crazy because say it was a job that 50 people applied for, and they're sending out 4 references. Not all the references filled out, but say 2 or 3 of them fill it out. That's a couple hundred. That's 1 to 200 references I'm getting back. And so it's autocratting into a PDF back to me. And then what I do is as I get it, I would just sort that into that applicant's folder. And then I would share those folders with my principals, and they would be able to see the PDF or the Google Doc of the application. And then they would see all of the separate reference Google Docs that I'm adding in there. And so there are PDFs that I would add in there. I make a PDF so that they didn't think I would go in and change it. I was just trying to keep it to where, it's transparent, but they knew that I wasn't changing it. So from that one Google form, generated a document, the resume, the application. Then it would generate 4 of these, and then that form had it to where it sent it back to me for the references. Then here's an example resume. This is my good friend Leanne. She filled it out when she took my job. And I'm sorry, she's great. Leanne, I apologize. Y'all can email her. She's lovely. It would build into this document. I'm scrolling fast so that you can't read all of her information. Sorry, Leanne. It would fill all this out. It would go into here. It fill technical information. It's the same thing you would see on any job application, but it made it made it look more like uniform when people did it. And this is what built out of it. This is the resume that built. And we had our policy at the bottom, disclaimers. This was the last page of the application. They see the district policy. They see our application, confirmation statement that that's all true. They're telling the truth. Do you agree with this? And then you would digitally sign your name. It would fill in the timestamp, name, all of that. So that is how we built all of that. Okay, excellent. So that is the other way to do it. And then we would sort them all in folders when I got them. So this is kind of like a walkthrough of our application process and how we used Google Forms, Sheets, Docs, and Autocrat to create that. I don't think I used the Google Sheet, sorry, to automate that entire process. So there you go, guys. Those are some of the main ways I've used it to generate that. I guess I can show you the certificate. Let's do that. We'll end on this one. I'll show you the certificate that generates here. So actually, I'm going to go in. This is a PD that I created for my district. We needed a 2-hour Arkansas history PD that they had to get. So let's see if we can actually get the certificate. Tyler at tarveracademy.com. My teachers would go in, and I wanted them to be able to do this 2-hour PD like in their own classroom on their own time because they didn't want to sit through it with a big group. And I wanted them to be in their classroom working for half the day, and they could do this in the afternoon. And so they would do first and last name. You're actually going to get a version of this when you complete this or any other of my summer trainings. I'm using Autocrat to generate a PDF certificate that you completed this training. Okay. They would select the date. What is this? I guess I had email address in there twice, so it's fine. I'll send it to this one also. Pick the school. Then I hit next. So they're going through this. You can offer an entire PD through this. Like I was going to do this back before I did these trainings. I was going to do it to where it's all built into a Google form. And as they complete it and move along, it's like answering, asking questions, and building it out. So I'm going to hit school. And they would watch this. They would tell me 3 key points. This was good. Okay. I'm just going to, for expediency's sake, I'm going to do this. Next, they would watch the video and they would answer the questions. So it would sit here and they could watch the video in the Google form, answer the questions, and they're rolling through all of these. The time on all these videos, now granted, you can usually tell as, you know, a teacher or a principal or whoever, or a central office PD person, you can tell when somebody goes through and does this. So we are going to, boom, I asked a question. Look at that. You could ask more specific questions. I did a lot of key point stuff, but you could do this, Battle of Bauxite. That's a cool video. You should watch that if you can. There we go. There we go. Key points. You want to get their thoughts on it. Natural Bridge. This is actually a video my family and I did whenever we went to visit the Natural Bridge of Arkansas. Hit next. Bam. Completed. And then you have it say, hey, it's going to get an email in a second. I created this 5-6 years ago. Let's see if it still works. Oh, there's the, look, remember earlier we talked about it? I'm going to do this while we're waiting on the other one to generate. This is the notification from the PD one we did where I tagged myself. Look, I can see this. I add a tech day 2 options or Google Forms. You know, can you add me to the Google Forms day? And I can hit reply directly from the email, or I can click here and I can go back to that PD form that we were working out of. So you can do it from either. I can go in and make the comment here, or I can make it directly in the email. Let's see if that certificate generated. It hasn't generated yet. But if it does here in a second, it'll generate a certificate and it'll email it to me, which I think I have certificates in here. Let me look and see if I have an example certificate. Okay, here's one. I can use my mom. Bam. This is a certificate that my mom, I built this picture right here. I built the photo, everything. And then whenever she filled out the evaluation, it filled this in. Charlotte Tarver for completing the Baller Teacher Conference. It said what day, it time-stamped it. I had 6 hours built into that. And then right here, it was, you know, tarveracademy.com. And I had my signature. All this was pre-built. The only thing that filled into the certificate was her name, the timestamp, and then what she attended. When you finish this, you're going to select some information on a Google form at the end of this session. This is an example of Autocrat and me using it practically for this. So you're going to go in, you're going to put your name, you're going to put your email, all this stuff, and then it's going to generate that. It's going to go into a sheet, and then it's going to generate that email to you and to anybody else that you want it to go to. Okay, the one I just filled out for the Arkansas History PD didn't come through yet, but that's what it would do. Okay, I will say this. I'm going to end on this. I have a couple times had some issues with Autocrat. It's only whenever I, 1, did something wrong when I was setting it up, or 2, it had so many inputs, like it was running so often that it almost like clogged up that system. A lot of people, instead of Autocrat, they'll use something called FormMule, FORM, and then Mule, MULE. And so you can use, you can use any of those, whatever you get comfortable with. This is Autocrat, and this is what I feel I've used over the past 6, 7, 8 years, and it has saved me literal hours a week. And so I highly recommend it. So thank you guys. If I forget to add any of these templates on my website, tarveracademy.com, you can let me know, and I will go back and I will try to fix those for you or add those in. Email me if you need anything. If I don't get it, it's because I'm getting an onslaught of emails, and I will answer it. It just may take me some time. So please be patient. Can't Autocrat replies to emails. I mean, I guess you could, but they'll be really generic. So, okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for learning with us today. And I hope this added you some value and you can take this into the future. Thank you, guys, and stick around to be able to, get that certificate generated with Autocrat. See you guys in a little bit. I'm about to pop on here again in the outro. That's my Jerry Seinfeld. Oh, okay. Here we go. That's not very good. I'm sorry. Stop talking, Tyler. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Peace. We did it. We did it. We learned something. Did you learn something today? In the chat, I want you to put the thing that you are taking away from today. Put one thing in the chat right now that you have learned or that you have realized or that's reinforced something you think. Put that one that I like to call this the golden nugget. Put the golden nugget from today in the chat. And that way, if somebody's missed it or they checked in, go ahead and you guys can copy paste what other people put. If there's some advice, you can screenshot it. Get this. I want you to throw in the best thing you learned today. It's like a best of highlight reel for your favorite thing that happened during this training. Toss that in the chat right now so we can share and grow together. Okay, we're about to do the evaluation. Before we do, I want to remind you, if you want access to this entire training at any time throughout the year, not just these live broadcasts, you can join the Tarver Academy Honor. Why'd I do this? Hey guys, Tarver Academy Honor Roll. It's like Netflix for teachers. Netflix for teachers, because you have resources, you have templates, you have PDs, trainings. It's literally like a library of trainings, and then access to ask questions, to request resources that I build and send out to teachers all around the world. So tarveracademy.com/honor roll if you want to join the greatest community on the planet. And I'm not biased at all. I mean, all of us, you're on the honor roll. You want to be on the honor roll? Sick. Let's all be on the honor roll. And I'm a dean, so keep me on the dean's list. Hey, that works. Okay. All right. Now it's time for your evaluation. I'd love to get your thoughts on what you thought for this, but also I'm going to send you a certificate saying that you sat through this training. You put in the time. You wanted to learn. You wanted to grow. You wanted to get better. This is going to be a certificate that I'm going to email to you. What I need you to do is I need you to go to the link on the screen or hover over the QR code with your phone. Get your phone out, hover over it. It's going to ask you a few questions. If you don't get this, it means that you put your email address in wrong. Make sure, please do not rush this. Type your email address in correctly. Please, I'm begging you, because if not, you're gonna email me, I never got my certificate. It's because your email address is wrong. Type in your email address correctly, fill it out, fill out your name, make sure you capitalize, make it look good, because it's gonna fill in to the certificate from this. So I need you to put this in correctly, please. Okay, go there, we're gonna walk you through it. Go into this, click on the link, or you can't click on the link because it's on a video. Type in the link on your computer or type it in on your phone or whatever device you have. Scan the QR code, fill it out. I'm gonna send you a certificate with a timestamp on it saying what time you ended. You have proof from earlier if you sent in to the other link of what time you started. And then you also got your notes and all the stuff you've learned, your screenshots, all of that to show your administrator or whoever, your spouse. You show your friends, show people on the streets, all the learning that you did. You can frame that certificate. I think we're all getting framed. You get a frame? I'm getting framed. I'm gonna put it up on my shelf. I got too much stuff on my shelf already. So look at this, Lonzo Ball rookie card. If you got any, by the way, you got any basketball cards you want to sell? Hit me up. I've been slightly obsessed with basketball cards, and I apologize for bringing it up. Look at this. This is all Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, I mean, he's the GOAT. Everybody says it. Who's in the chat? Who is your favorite basketball player of all time? I'd love to know. If it's Lonzo Ball, it's quite the coincidence because I had it sitting on my desk. If not, it's probably this guy. Probably this guy right here. See that guy? That's Michael Jordan. No big deal. It's whatever. Don't like to brag about it. I mean, it's not that expensive, that card. But if you got any cards you want to sell, holler at me. I don't know why I said that. I'm just stalling so you guys can fill out your evaluation. All right. Y'all feel good? I'm gonna leave this on the screen for you for a little while in case you had to step out for a second. I'm gonna leave this up. Thank you again so much for your attention and your time and everything that you put into learning and growing with us today. I'm Tyler, this is Tarver Academy. Let's learn and have fun. See you guys later.